want to kill off the youth. No dress up in a jacket and them dress up in a tie. Come a courthouse want to tell pale lies. Them a murderer.
We want you to put in a system of voting. Our elected representatives can do one thing. We want that system here. You're here to talk wrong. I think that some organizations, even the one radio, that people, you know what thing over there? You would want people knowing right. No, to me to get out here because people in the just don't want. And then people come to the heard of this system out there and they function things. They gotta say that those are good. The first thing just from the turn is like they are thinking, right? This is what we can't do that to people.
Morning.
Good morning. I come to make an appointment to see the governor, please.
About?
Please start getting some of the assisting also from
Governor can't help you, you know that. And if what you need to do, okay, well we have to follow procedure. What you need to do, if you have a complaint that you would like to put in writing, you put it in writing.
What's your email address, please?
Send it, write a letter.
To whom?
The governor.
What's your email address?
I cannot give you her email address. But you can send it to the office address. And
How come everybody has to see the governor and issues of citizenship government need to?
You have to follow protocol. But you have to learn if you follow procedure and follow the correct protocol. You can't just come in off the street and ask to see the governor. Look how you're dressed, number one. In other places, you won't even reach as far as the door. Because you have to you always come here, you always say, you are citizen of Anguilla. And
No, you're with a tone of voice that
Look how I'm dressed, yes, but the situation that they got me in, I can't afford nothing. So how do you expect me to dress?
You see their actions, but you never know their reactions. Time and time alone will prove the story, and every eyes will see. Truth will reveal. The truth will reveal.
I had asked Diana the last time I come here, she would tell me about go by probation office, but then when the liar called and they didn't send the liar back to call here. Another thing, this year so I went back 6 times under the same magistrate. So we're supposed to have his duties, what the conditions is on it also with his stamp. And nothing on it, just this alone.
This is, you want your point, the clerk would give you this so that you could remove. This is like the full-fledged document of what would have a complaint. And
yeah, but they got a recognizance on top of it, so they condition.
This is not really a form of the court, like one of the other forms I guess I was looking for to see what happened in San Square and Roy. This is just a little reminder when someone is point that the clerk made up that you give the person so they can remember easily and check the.
But this ain't valid.
This is not, but this is what I'm telling you, this is not a document of the court.
Hi.
I just came by to the whole of that about the but I was that in terms of the public assistance, they tell me that you can have that. The public assistance, they have developed in a month, they can get up to
No, I'm sorry about that, but I'm studying nothing. I was there, so when I was there, so it wasn't relevant. Even though you come as witness, so it wasn't a target, none of you. When I come, I was just come to state, yes. The reason why nobody didn't want to listen, you could see the whole thing was a plan from day one. I mean, and Janelle say, why I see you went up there, so everybody went there testify to them. Because I tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, whole of a Bible. And something wrong like that. So how could I accept anything? The same magistrate.
Lied about what? What did I lie about?
Certain things we talk about, I ask you, you say you never know about
I
that.
said I recall. I don't remember anything about what you mentioned about the what putting on whoever it was that you mentioned.
Okay, even the magistrate went on, he said what he had to say. And you hear everybody here when you was in there, so when he said that the school will provide breakfast and lunch, when everybody say about lunch alone.
Oh.
And he said that I must continue giving him the biscuit and soda. I was surviving so long, a whole year and 5 months on it now. So I ain't concerned to nothing more. All I want is my settlement with him and that's it. And let me move back on.
Nothing to do with Anglex Franklin. It's just to give the kids so you can have something for the kids. It has nothing to do with Anglex.
Yes, but what I saying, everybody saying thing and nothing to do with Anlec is the problem of the whole thing.
Yeah, and I get that.
This,
I get that. If
look,
you
I got no water, no current, and soon I ain't gonna be here, so it don't make sense.
It does, because then it would give you something so your kids could have something.
Nah, that's it. I ain't signing to nothing. I sorry.
This is just signing that you received this letter.
I'm not signing to nothing.
You want a letter then?
No, I'm not signing to nothing. Thanks.
Time and time alone will prove the story, and every eyes will see. Truth will reveal. The truth will reveal. Things that are hidden. I said the things that them hide deep down inside.
It's like I become a government service, right?
Yeah.
And you swear an oath to say that whatever you're working with is confidential. You can't go out there and talk what's happening here. So we swear on that. We can't tell that every single man is on work. You're saying to the police officer, they're on a job. No, but if they're on a job, and once you come to your job, whatever you swear to, from the very beginning, before you start your job, from the very, very beginning, you swear on oath. You don't understand
So what about a man at the end of the court?
Whatever different when you go when you go in straight to tell the truth, and nothing but the truth. That's a difference.
Supposed to be about the truth.
Right, but the man you gotta go through that.
Okay.
The police gotta go through that, and I gotta go through that, but the person when you're going to swear, when you're going to say, testify to something, you're swearing on the truth, on oath, because if you tell a lie, it's perjury. One is on the Bible, and you go into the lie, in court, it's perjury. Right?
But then do that,
you don't have to do that.
They do that in the court there and everything.
Right, but you don't have to do
But
that.
police,
Like a truth them try to hide from long time gone. But you and I knows that looks are the same. Remember they say, still waters run deep. So watch it how you're running steep. Time alone will prove the story, and every eyes will see. Truth will reveal. The truth will reveal. Things that are hidden.
You think it's easy to stand up and watch you use a cry before for now. But how feels it naughty? We are feel it from a little and a grow. How feels it naughty? Sometimes we feel like we let go. How feels it naughty? We are feel it from a little and a grow. How feels it naughty? I only judge and know. Yeah. You think it's easy if you know say early a morning landlord a come for the rent. When deep down in yourself you know say you don't have a cent. You know me feel it for the youth them when you have to sleep on that street. Them not care for the youth them and a long time me see it.
Can't cool enough, can't water down enough. Not compromise, no time enough. Give it up.
Okay, my name is Franklin Petter. I'm back here again for the 9th time. What happened, I'm going to go into a little further details so that you'll clearly understand what really happened to me and my family here. What happened when Jules Wilson, the permanent secretary of our ministry, when this matter had went there, so she sent me this email stating her responsibility within the ministry and thing.
If I feel love the girls are we that 2 million dead and them no see that. If I feel rough and kill people, say we not go free that. One thing, no negativity can't come my way. We celebrate life and chant a prayer every day. We do the positive so we make can't stray. We no mix up in the folly so we walk the right way. Time hard, time rough, we still can't give up. Just all you want and need even though they don't it up. Give thanks for the little all when it
And I need to come to the tribunal for these dates in the way to which she died. I had one and not, but I got point out all these things and show you by the evidence that they don't want me to have no lie, not to even represent myself, so they want to kill the case so that they come out to nothing. What happened? I went there, so, and the reason why they was putting me on top of this probation, the reason why I went to prison for nothing, to put me on a probation, because what I was trying to do all the time. I point out in earlier videos where under the Probation Act where they wanted to put me underneath of it with go over to 43 of the criminal, 42 of the criminal code, 43, 277, and 303. But I show 42 and 43. So I'll show you from 277 in the criminal code under restitution. This here is a criminal code. And under the criminal code, section 277, where what happened, them had wanted to put me underneath the reason why them locked me up in prison to put me underneath of these things so that they could recover all my evidence that they have to go against with my case, and even searching out my friends and relatives around me. And from this, go to page 303. Here. And then they tell me underneath 302. So what happened, the reason why I'm doing me all of this, because Anguilla as a company, that the government is the biggest shareholders in Anguilla. And what happened, I'll show you the reason why all of this happening to me and my family here. This newspaper, dated Friday the 22nd November 2013. In this newspaper here, does anybody really cares? Does anybody really cares? What happened here? If you read through this, the whole of this here, so in this piece here, talk about with the government and thing here, so with the people them losing them houses and everything. What happened? The manager at Anguilla had made a decision for them to pay me out, which because of all of that, and then giving me and my family all kind of hardship, putting all kind of pressure on me, just kind of want me break to do what they want. When I was in prison the third time, when I say that the guardian had told me I got a legal visit, when I asked them who, then tell me, Cora, I'll show you something here. This newspaper, Friday 3rd February 2012. I want you to pay close attention to this picture here. John Benjamin, Anguilla, and Jerome come back with the friendship out of this here. This paper, pointing out here when, I tell you when Cora was coming to visit me, when I tell him to go and cancel it. Page 24. This lady here, Christy Richardson, taking oath. What happened? John Benjamin here, if you read, some of these papers may be old, I wouldn't know if they're on top of the Anguilla newspaper. But if you read this here, from here, where her application for admission before the bar was by the Caribbean Jurors Chamber and also by Cora Richardson Hatch. So, with the connection there, so, she wasn't going to come to work according to the law for me in my favor. And when I was in prison, when I tell you that, after canceling the call, her visit, another day I was poisoned. This newspaper, Friday 13 December 2012. In this newspaper, this is a prison guard here. In this newspaper, if you notice, this lady here, Miss Grant, when I was poisoned another day and I come outside, out at the front, she come down, she watched me, she was like in shock. She asked him, what are you doing here? So the inmates asked her, what kind of stupidness she asking me, because them got the keys to lock me down and leave me out, so why ask that question? So she said, oh, she thought I was in the hospital. So I said, nothing, I just turn off him. I gotta clear up something here. All of these workers here, this is Nigel Webster what I'm talking about, well, tell me I got no rights when I want to leave from outside the prison and in here, along with this guy here, Walker. I want you to pay close attention here to point out something for you and explain and maybe you listen for yourself. This guy here is Alistair, owner of Tucson Funeral Home. Now all the things were happening to me and my family. If I had a gun, even dropped down dead in prison, the same government asking the people, telling the people on the radio if they know of any crime, report it. And if you know and don't report it, it's an offense. Okay. The government people, when them sign on to them job, they make them swear on an oath, whatever wrong them doing within the government, supposed to stay in the government. So if I had a drop down dead for what them had poisoned me with inside there when I get poisoned, so they're going down as another cold case, like Clinton Bryan one. What happened? The general manager at ANLEC at the time, who was Thomas Hodge, when the staff was pointing out to him, telling him the things what he cousin Lincoln Hodge and Steve Hodge was doing, he still went along with them to please them with the decisions they were making. And through that he went along with it and still standing up for the decision after them finding him wrong at the down in Ministry of Home Affairs in front of the Labour Minister and the Labour Commissioner. He say he and them is all about looking good, he and his team. Now if you look at it, he stand up for the wrong what Steve Hodge and Lincoln Hodge when they're doing, according to the company rules, them should have been fired and locked up for the crimes they were committing. Because what happened, which I point out in the first video, where the death of Clinton Bryan happened because the company safety rules wasn't followed, which lead in gross negligence, where he should have been terminated and locked up for the life of Clinton Bryan. Lincoln Hodge failed to follow the same company safety rules. After that, had wanted me to sign a work permit to put my team up on a line, which they tell you in 8, where the staff had a meeting with the board members and explained the whole thing. But I'll leave you show you really what's going on.
The transport one of our trucks yesterday, the bucket tilted unexpectedly, which nearly caused harm to one of our employees. Actually, to just brief, the whole team as to what actually happened with the bucket truck. So, let me brief with this.
All right. For those who don't know what happened here, there's someone to try to explain what happened. For those present, the channel, Shem, Ryan, Eddie, were you present?
You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let him hear.
And that's something I didn't comment on then.
way we know is when the problem arrives in Lincoln. That's the honest way we know about it.
Them dress up in a jacket and them dress up in a tie. Watch you deprive, I'm mad from my rights. Them a murderer. Still do that. Them a murderer.
It doesn't go on homeschool, there's nothing wrong with homeschool now. You just go get the curriculum into its proper way. You understand? Let's get it from them. Mr. Fett, you went to the social development to get the shoes for the Devante?
What shoes?
The shoes for school. Did Chanel Petty tell you to go to social development to get the shoes?
Chanel Petty had no talking about me.
You didn't go down to Miss Barrett, have you?
I went there, but she didn't tell me nothing about no shoes.
She didn't tell you to go to social development?
To go sign, I'm not signing nothing. What you need to do is to consult my lawyer. I got no more discussion with her because all I had a letter from the recent lawyer.
Not me.
Now could you please, yes, your thing on top of it, it was copied to you.
From the recent lawyer?
Yes. Could you please excuse me now? I got something I'm doing for my brother.
I just want to ask her about homeschooling the other children.
Okay. Well.
It ain't nothing else. I just came to ask her about homeschooling. I'm just telling her what to go and get in order to assist them.
Let me tell you something. Me and you going through this, them covering for them friends, and I'm not in this moment. I have a lawyer, he's dealing with the situation, and that's the whole thing now. I went in court there, so I dragged me in there for nothing. I playing no more games with her. I went to Chanel Petty, like she tell you that she say that she sent me over social development for a pair of shoes. She had no talking like that with me.
She said social development. She said for the shoes.
She said to go sign things out there so to get help.
So she sent you for shoes.
She said all of that will be included if you would get them.
She sent you your stop motion.
Who did send you here?
She said it is my duty to find out about kids not coming to school.
Okay, the principal would also allow you, like, tell you who children also could go and your duty to do your duty, right?
The principal spoke with me and she told me that he didn't have any shoes.
Okay,
he doesn't have any shoes.
When you go back, he don't have no shoes, he don't have no books, he don't have no bag, all of these things. So what?
How would I know what he doesn't have if I don't come and find out?
The principal had a letter from the recent lawyer. Our lawyer went in their lawyer and me say, lock me up for nothing.
What doesn't he have? The shoes?
Listen. We went over and over through this all the time. I'm not going to sign up for nothing by welfare.
What does he need?
The lawyer.
What does he need right now?
My lawyer is dealing with everything. That's all I got to say.
Them come to come trap them and reap what them no sow. Oh, well, going in the early morning and rasta man. Leave. No trouble, yeah. The crime you want to charge a man for, it's not possible. I am not guilty.
So parents can't understand school. This whole idea is to get the child to go to school, not to punish the parent and put them in prison. Right? When I point that out to him, he says, oh, you mean I don't have authority now to go to some other law? Okay, what did that law put in that it would put a person in prison? I don't know who discretion. And if you listen to what I said, I said discretion is as long as the chancellor court. What I mean, you do what you feel like. And discretion, even with discretion, it can be impunity. If you basically tell him what you're doing what you want. Can't see that, okay, two things I see. He's angry, right? And he got a right to be angry because of these people. If this had been a rich person, okay, something wouldn't have happened. And if it had been somebody who didn't know, right, it wouldn't have happened either. So you could say,
yeah, but
he had no right to send him to prison. None at all.
But what they're doing is
punishing him.
What a document you have to spoil the date?
Documents that would be.
Or record nothing. And you'd have to give a reason why you want to appeal. And you're going to have to get 2 sureties
But they didn't tell me that before.
Huh?
Them didn't tell me that
Who
before.
told you this? Who gave you this? Who told you?
I could get other farms one time now then.
Not from here. You most likely have to get a lawyer to help you because you can't do that on your own.
This is just a whole bunch of tricks, you know. First, the farm telling us they say that they could do it like this. No, I got to get a liar.
But you cannot file all the other stuff on your own. You're going to have to do a recognizance. And first you have to give reason why you want to appeal. First, for this, you have to pay this. When you pay this, now you're going to need to show it is.
How could I say that? That looks valid to you?
I mean, if it looks valid, it's a copy of...
Yes, but this looks valid to you. Where is it from?
It is valid for our court.
Where does it stand there? So it's supposed to be stamped and sealed.
Here, it says magistrate court.
I could write up that. Stop playing tricks with me. You can write down a computer. These things need to be stamped and signed according to the law.
This here was for your information. This piece of paper is what Diana gave you, the court clerk, for your information, so you don't forget that you have to pay this $500 fine.
You went to here, took a year to come back over here to give me this. This is not valid because they don't have the court seal not stamp on it. It means signed by the magistrate, so how you could tell me this that I could go home write up this for magistrate
you was in court when they did, you was in
yes,
court, right?
but it's supposed to be signed from here. They stop playing tricks.
This here is just a reminder.
This is a reminder, look at here, something was put here to block off the rest, so where's the field for this to say that it's from the court? How could I say that?
This thing here, right? It's valid because number one, you have your criminal number there with your file, and we have the file here.
But this why it's valid because this here so
yes, but this document is
you went out there so
to add to this, you cannot just file this like this because it's not stating your reason for appealing, and then you need to have a recognizance. So you have to do that, and when you pay this, now you're gonna need to show it is.
Yeah, are you playing on your smart? But the world will have to know about this because your anybody could type up this and give to you about it from the court. The court's supposed to have this standard.
Diana only gives that for your
Diana is working with her family in India. This what I tell you. This supposed to be stamped and sealed by the court. How you got to do something like this and say it's valid?
You want another senior person to come and explain it to you?
I done had it explained to me already, and this is not valid.
Explained to you already. How come you did not file the other document?
This is not valid.
You need, but this here is not valid either because you need the other documents to support it, and you do not have the other documents.
But where the documents is, give them to me then.
That's why you're gonna need a lawyer to help you. We don't have all the documents here. You're gonna need a lawyer to help you with that.
You keep playing smart. You went to yesterday, a year, come back and want to tell me the same thing. When they come here, so they got people accustomed to coming and filling out things and going in there to represent themselves.
Yeah, but
now you got to tell me.
That's this form.
But this is the farm that give me the farm I need then. Give me the farm that I need then.
I don't know what farm they pull out.
Okay, give me the farm that you need then.
I just tell you, you need a lawyer to help you. We do not have those farms.
You see what's going on here? There's a lion here toying with them. And then they come give me this dragging court after 6 times I need a team match and they're doing he malpractice. Something I could go home pull up on the computer. They're gonna tell me this from the court. That looks like it's from the court. Can I see Naki please?
That's a just a reminder.
Reminder nothing because before I had a full thing.
Before the
Okay.
Don't come with that. And tell that a young witness, Diana and her family, they also sent him a criminal with his full document, sign and everything. But then give me a reminder to say I was in there too.
They never saw that.
I had one before. I could show you that I used to assign and stamp from here.
One saying that with a court point?
Yes.
Okay, I want to see that.
You want to see?
No, I don't want to see.
So why are you saying you want to see for them?
I want to see for them.
She went yesterday and a year ago, come back and tell me the same thing?
I just know that you will hear that.
Well, so evidence proving that I was here before the 14 days of a case?
Your name online, and stuff and things like that.
You done inform what I want to tell me before I come here, so this farm I was given this because to go appeal it by myself. And now I come back tell me something else.
I had no talk with you.
You ever hear a court giving you a reminder, something like that, with no nothing on it? Yes, good morning, Miss Benjamin. This here, so I come here so they tell me, ask for farm to fill out a appeal.
Right.
To carry court.
Who with that form?
The girl there from the Fountain, I know her name.
Okay, let's have another one to give you. It's two several forms you have to fill out, so it's not complete. So I have to give you what you call a recognition to prosecute the appeal.
Okay, but this here, so she telling me this valid.
No, that's a reminder. That is not reminder. Yeah, that is just a reminder.
No, but
it's a reminder.
A code don't give you no reminder like that. I had one before and I had the full information along with a stamp, code stamp.
No, that is just something that I gave you for your personal, for your reminder. It's not anything that you can use for any reason. But if you want to attach it, that's your reason. Apart from that, you need to have what they call the recognition. You need to fill it out.
Do I can get the farms now?
I don't know, you have whoever, I don't know why you said, she goes here, she can see you.
Yes.
But she don't make it here. Huh? Yeah, Miss Often in the Davis human rights, she would know about that, she was a magistrate before. She should be able to do that for you if you can bring it back right away.
Yeah, this is the problem I have here. Ms. Davis went in the court, but human rights thing. Keithley Benjamin say in here, this ain't nothing about human rights, which is human rights is underneath the thing what he operates. But
the lawyer herself, so she would know the procedure, and she would be able to fill out the form very quickly. Very interesting because you need the other document, and you don't have a lot of time. You have 14 days, and it expires today, so you have to get the form quickly.
Not expire tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, all right. Then if you can see that tomorrow, you have to get your form.
But this year, so I had one before with a full thing on it.
It doesn't matter. You can attach that if you want to attach it, but you must get the other one. Look at lawyer all day. He wants an after advice.
Miss Benjamin, I don't know if you know my situation, but with these liars here, I can't even go to none.
You know that one?
Which one?
Before the lady with black.
The tall one or they have stand up talking to the girl? I know she was a liar.
Go quickly because tomorrow is deadline, so we don't want you to waste your time.
Yeah, but I can't answer with this because they're talking about reminder. They're supposed to, according to the law, they're supposed to be stamped and sealed by the court. For me.
You have different wavelengths. I that you, if you want to attach that to the document, but you gotta attach it.
Okay.
But for you to have the proper document, to go before the court of appeal, because the court of appeal will not hear your case, which is in proper order, eh?
Okay,
you have to get all the relevant documents. So I tell you must have somebody to assist you. That as well, you have to figure out that area where you write your reason. You have to give your reason for your appeal. Why are you appealing? So you say something about this magistrate for 6 times this lawful execution from May 1st to injunction under the Federal Code Part 10, Section 11, evidence of attached. Well, that is not giving a reason. I don't understand the reason.
Well,
Come back.
Good question. I would like to know myself.
But he was a lawyer. He wrote me several times and he came here several times. That's a thing now, man.
He came here? He came here?
We're so much innocent, playing for the guilty, but the blinders are victim. But we're fighting for justice and equality. So many rights will turn to wrong because of the laws of their society.
The corruption, you see, them a accept from them earwaves and them internet. And what them televised, then a totally mess. They fuck with them rightly and them concept. The propaganda them spreading at the press.
What happened?
After all of that now, the supervisor, Lincoln Hodge, wrote to the manager, lies again on top of him. And the manager stand up with his decision because he family. So he wasn't doing them nothing. Now, with all of this, after finding the manager wrong, the government now standing up with the company. All of that now, by standing up with the wrong, two brothers who shouldn't be in like according to the company rules. Yes, Lincoln Hodge, according to the safety rules again, where he was putting us in danger because he wasn't carrying out the safety rules, turned around wrote the manager a letter which said that I didn't mention. Now with all of this, went to the police station, them send police to me. Now if you look at it, the police attending to that complaint could have get an accident, maybe lost his life over a false report, which is an offense to lie to the police. Nothing happening to them, but them locking me up and punishing me and my family with all of this. The same government was standing up with the wrong, which two brothers now showing up with the ignorance of the manager for lack of management, which he didn't carry out. The government who stand up with them, the legal system, the police, and also the prison, the whole system, along with the education system, which create another case for the government because of the laws them all going along with just because of the company. This here, so this newspaper, dated Friday 23rd August 2013. In this newspaper, page 18, a slippery and dangerous path. If you notice here, we have to point out the shareholders, the shares were Social Security Board, National Bank and CCBs, who got shares in the same company. So you would understand when in video 3 when I point out that I went to National Bank to see these people who come in to investigate the bank, why I could not get through. The Lake and Associates is the liars for National Bank, with the same liars from National Bank now where I point out in other video where two liars from the same firm write me and tell me about the foreclosure of my home to take it up. Okay. When I point out and show you the connection with Cora and Lake liars, Cora also used to work in Keely Lake and Associates, so she was Chanel co-worker. So you see where the friendship and all of this coming in, where the laws in upholding. And what happened with all of this situation with my child was unable to go to school now because of the situation that happened, and I had a lawful excuse for it, for all the children who were supposed to be in school. What happened when I tried to send the child to school even though I didn't have it, because I'm refusing for my matter to get settled, because I'm trying to run out of time. What happened? I dressed him in clothes where he had made uniform too, so I dressed him in what he had, gave him a bottle of water, and he didn't have no shoes, so I put slippers on his foot and I sent him to school, at least showing an effort. But
the whole idea what I'm doing, trying to get after me and want to break me down. So the school now, who was told from the court that was supposed to provide breakfast and lunch, and them know what he was allergic to, was giving him what he was allergic to just to broke him out where he could go welfare now to sign another farm. And the same child, we had an incident where he was sick and even the hospital had refused me medication free because the same liar and that liar which I point out, Tara Rowan, is the chairperson over at the board and with the hospital. So what happened now? The child, with all of this laws and things, where the education department, the teacher, the principal, everybody went up there in court in state admin. The child was supposed to go fifth farm from September. The child was unable to go to school because of our situation. And my mother and some friends was trying to help even though she had it hard. And taking me up, still tell me that I refuse to send the child to school and just to lock me up in prison to do me all kind of thing to try to break me down. So what happened now? Just the Friday, the child mother in St. Kitts, I was calling her all the time, explaining her the situation. You notice in the other videos I point out where the welfare department here contacting the welfare department in St. Kitts. Okay. The child mother tell me that them trying to get in contact with she, some people were telling us so. And she said that a day the department, welfare department in St. Kitts called her and told her about the situation what happening down here in Anguilla. And she said that the department said they ain't getting involved in that, but she need to go down for her child. Now if you look at it, the situation with all the evidence here which I show in all these videos point out the government. The same magistrates and they're doing what they want. Everybody working together against me. And who know that what is wrong can't say nothing because some of them in the same system make us swear to this oath what them does make them swear to. Okay. The mother come, the police come after to me, say that before then the mother dropped in unexpectedly. Friday, just 5 minutes before 12 o'clock. Me and my mother was in the living room, so something there, me and my mother were talking and she just slipped and say her name. So she said like, what is she calling her name for? Maybe she must be calling her. A few seconds after that, I hear a car by the gate, but I went to normally cars driving and sometimes the sound coming in the yard. So over there, I had a mosquito thing killing some mosquitoes. So when I look up, I see her by the door, so I call her name. So my mother say, why you calling Jermaine for? I say, cause she right here. So she say, you lie. So I say, yes, she right here. So she come in now, and my mother now see me. So my mother tell her she just call her name. What happened? My mother asked her what she come for. She said she come for the child, her son. Now all the years I had him from a baby, I never hear the mother say she come down before come for him. Because she give him to me, she say she got one and I got one. All of a sudden she reach here because of the department now contact her. If you check it out in all the other videos and from in one, video one where I point out where after we're fired, them call me about my current bill, them cut it, before them cut it, them send me a bill, a letter by Henry Rowan, the bailiff. For days he was running me down, telling me I need to sign the form, say that I receive it. Now which I point out in other videos where I show the same document. If I had signed that form saying I just received the letter, he could have signed on behalf of me in the company for John Benjamin office to take up my property and everything I own. Okay, then find that work. Them say them gonna cut my bill. The lawyer tell them, explain them, tell them that there was an agreement between the board and my lawyer to leave it until to settle, then cut it. Them find that work. Them try other things which pointing out in it. And now to come down to the church. Because after them find, dragging him in court to frighten him off of jail and locking him up 3 times for nothing, find that work, now them got a different strategy to come now, get the child to come for the child mother to come for the child, where I had from a baby up to where he would make 11 years next month there. So when she come and she say that she come for the child, I tell her, well, she have to go back without the child because what happening to the child is what the government causing with me and my family because them shares in the company, which I had explained before. So I tell her, well, she would have to go with what she come here with. She said, well, you stay there, so she come for the child. I said, well, this ain't got to settle just like that. This got a matter got to go high court. And now to find what the problem is now before you go with the child. She said, well, she ain't studying that because nobody on my side and nobody gonna listen to me. I'm gonna show you where she right. The police come to me. They may identify themselves firstly, then jump out and say, give the child to her mother, the mother. And by identifying themselves after when I ask them their name, they only give me them last name. One was refusing to give me. And in this book here, the Anguilla Police Act, where I'll show you what happened here. In this book, page under 13, under the oath, them swear in and when them first join the force, not to favor nothing, malice or ill will, because them there to serve and protect the public. In the same book, I showed this book before, but some of them who may see this video wouldn't see the rest, so I'll show you it again because it's very important for what you're about to see. Here so, telling you here, under 60, if them do anything, what them oath, them they sign up to what is, when them join the force, them should be dismissed from the same force. But the reason why them doing what they want because them know the same government standing up with them. And if you look at it, the same government were talking about the youths and the people, about them there for the people, doing the same people so. Me and my family. Why I think they would do to the tourists them here so promoting. Now if you look at it, all the people inside of the government system that ain't functioning, the Queen, after this video, would have all the evidence to show when she tell Hubert Hughes, the Chief Minister, to send home the civil servants, she will see the reason, everybody will see the reason why. I'm talking about tourism. Beaches, pretty beaches. Yes, we may have beautiful beaches, but it's for season. Sometimes you go there so you meet pure rocks at the sand gone. We got a valley what you develop with a Kalina town. The money what I'm wasting paying the liabilities them got inside of the system. Them need to fire and lock up account to the offenses them here committing. He could take the same money and develop the place. But instead of that, them taxing the poor people and a dead economy to pay them friends.
Cause even the police is corrupted, so the poor now go get no justice. We know you're into banking, but you can't calculate crime, you have to solve it. The first thing you have to do is clean up the force. Too much wrong people in at the right post. The justice system won't clean up, of course. It's like a fat person walking in a very tight clothes. See your handkerchief there.
No, you can't. Saab just say that. You can't tell me that. This got to go. This is a labor dispute. In a labor matter, the government know about it, and this got to go high court to get settled.
What labor?
You go and talk to the government and find out what's going on. I ain't in that.
What government you talking about?
Excuse me, what your name is?
Officer Ruan.
Ruan? Number 47, and what's yours?
But why you think you're taking us?
In my place. What's yours? Yeah, but give me your name. You're refusing to give me your name? The government is putting me through all of this.
So let the government put you and not your child?
So the mother never helped me support the child from all the time. So what is that you come to me for? When I go to the police with my matter what going on?
Are you in school?
The principal, all of them know what happened. Go and talk to Edison Beard.
Why Edison Beard in the government?
Well, when he was in the government, he know about it. Jerome Roberts know about it too.
What that got to do with the child?
What I'm doing to me, them doing me and my family.
Well, you look at so you want to go to hard with it. You want us to carry you down or something like that.
Carry me down for what I do? What offense have I caused? What offense have I caused?
But why you not hand over? You see your hand trembling?
No, you don't worry about that. What offense did I commit for you to carry me in jail?
But why you handing over the little boy? You gonna make Justin, he crazy? You don't love him?
How do you mean I love my child?
You love him, you wouldn't do that to him, man. Nobody does that to a child. Look here, what that little boy going through. You're making him want to cry now. No, you don't love him.
No,
How
this,
can you love
nah, don't come give me that. 79 is your number since you don't want to give me a
What
name.
foolishness you talking about number? We talking about a child. We ain't talking about number. I don't care how much video you're doing.
We don't want to hand over the chair. Give the chair to his mother.
If you say
Ask the mother how long I had a child. I had a child from a baby.
She did not, did she sign papers?
She didn't have to sign nothing. I said biological father.
By means, once the mother is not in treating her child, the child has to hand over to the mother. It has to be handed over to the mother.
Don't come with that. To have to go courting for them to find out what the problem is with all of this. No. I ain't in that. I ain't in that. No, I ain't in that.
Take your child.
Vante, you want to go with your mother?
Do not be
Vante, open your mouth.
Yes, you want to go to
You're with your father all the time.
Leave him alone. Don't do that.
Leave him in the answer. You have everything anymore.
Vante,
be honest.
You want to stay with your father?
Do not be scared. Your father's not going to beat you. He asks you a question, answer it.
Excuse me, please.
Don't make it harder on yourself.
I did not commit no offense, and I'm not doing nothing.
Now, because I'm just talking to you, and you can run out like a fool.
But I tell you, excuse me.
Let's deal with the child.
I told you, excuse me.
Let's take your child.
No way.
You can't hit her. Take
Listen.
your child.
Come, Vante.
Vante.
Child.
Come, Vante.
You can't hit her to
Let
your
it
child.
go.
By law, use the mother.
Let go.
My love. But as a father to look what you doing to me.
I deal with that different way, but you can't beat up. If you beat up, then we lock you up. We will lock you up then. But
Let
go.
Take your child. What I'm doing, you're gonna never see your father again when I go prison. Leave my hand go from me.
If you hit her,
I hold my child. I hold my child.
Give me a different story. I want a passport.
But give her child.
Go ahead.
But you get it. You get it.
Let go.
Mom, look at what I'm doing. Me and my wife support the child all the time. And look what the government. Alright. Are you doing this because all I use one?
Let me come back to you.
Don't come with that. I ain't in that.
How you mean she not let me come back?
I'm not in that without you.
She'll take you from me all together? She just want to make her life free?
Look at what the government doing to me.
I understand.
You ain't understand that they're supposed to go high court now to get this solved and settled because of what's going on.
Listen to me. The concern is you and the child, right?
The concern with me and the child, I had no problem before when I was sending the child to school and everything.
So
the lie, are you just abusing the lie and using the law for your advantage? That's all are you doing?
A child can't. We can't stop that.
But the child with me all the time, I support him from a child, she ain't helped me.
But she says a reason.
And I support the one in St. Kitts. And I support the one up there till 6 years. And you tell me you ain't sending him to me. Send not to me.
Alright, but remember, right? You can't keep a child passport. Nobody can hold nobody's passport. I don't want to arrest you, I don't want nothing. All I'm saying, please hand over the passport to the child.
I don't have the passport here.
You don't have it?
I don't have it here.
Where's the passport?
I don't have it here.
No, that's our offense to hold anybody's passport.
I said I don't have it here.
So where is it? Can't you go
What's
there?
your name? You ain't tell me a name, you come here so asking me questions. What's your name?
I'm Officer Ben.
Officer Ben who?
That's the title. That's all you need to know.
But what his full name is?
I told you my name. I told you my one is Juan. You didn't ask me my full name. Sometimes go. But I don't want to take him up for a passport, okay? So see you talk to him, hand over the passport. And that's the offense then. So if you have the passport, I don't want to make it over. Okay? Try bring the passport. Don't let me be no thing. Because nobody don't hold nobody passport. You gonna bring his stuff down for him?
She got a child what I could do with a passport.
So I
I said she got a child, what can I do with the passport? The passport up. She know that.
They say he can travel on it. If they will renew it.
And that the government need to solve this thing here what I'm causing with me and that without you.
What about the child clothes? Did you give him anything to put on?
Just don't ask me no more questions right now. I said I don't have it here. All are you doing is locking me up because I am ex-police commissioner doing that kind of thing, abusing the law and that kind of thing. I had my child from time he was a baby. The laws ain't applied to you with the stupidness are you doing. Are you just taking the law and use it now your hand because I is police?
I'm not doing that.
That's what you're doing. You can't just come take my child like that. It's supposed to go through a matter of high court and see what's going on. What is the problem? But none of you doing that. All of you with Keatley Benjamin and the wrong in Ivinia Benjamin and what them doing.
Send back the passport for me, please. Send down the passport. Because I got something.
Everybody got hear about this what's going on. What are you doing to me?
It's an offense, sir.
It's an offense. What are you doing to? It's an offense. What are you doing to?
I do the other way, you know, because
I said it's an offense. What all are you doing?
No, that's one thing. You cannot have nobody passport. Say that to the people who have one passport. They just say they can't run it.
presidential. You can't go there and talk for happening here. So we don't have that. You can't do that every single man no more. You're saying that one time, no, it's on the job, and once you come to your job, what do you expect to? From the very beginning, before you start the job, from the very beginning, you still have to go. You don't have to go on it. What about a man that is going to go? Well, they don't know. If you want to say the show, I don't know what the show is, but that's the difference. Why would I say that? But the problem is where the Bible says that the part about me is very on the truth. Oh, has it been eternal life? Part of one. What is on the Bible? And you only on the line of Bible after the four? It's part of it.
And caught in the middle is the police.
Nobody move. What was that? Nobody move. Stop on the support. No move.
The officer no kill him, officer.
Hey, girl, go in here.
Somebody now to defend the poor. Batman police, everybody are kicked down with door. That's our concern, you know. Government and police, civilian and police, taxi man and police, everyone and police a war. Who make you read so far is a while now. I know spot a squaddy in a land of war. Police have to run from police. What is this from police? We don't know about the things are. Right now the force needs CPR. It look like a boom day and leave a scar. Officer, you can't throw gas in the fire, cause the people are go ball and go fit retire. In the church and we go kneel and go in a prayer. When the people are rebel and I said them a suffer, a criminal elements are gonna love the law. So why are the majority I call you murderer? Me think we need for you hurry up and solve the puzzle, yeah.
What happened in my situation is here is my evidence. We went to Edison Beard, we went to Chief Minister.
No, recently?
Before all of this happened, the head is there to enforce the laws as in writing to whoever underneath.
In Anguilla?
Yes.
In Anguilla?
When Hitler had his thing there, so the 1st of March, I went by the Attorney General office to meet with him. The girl said me I need a lawyer. I said, so I understand. I can't do it myself to see myself. When the last date I could see him also my lawyer.
Yes,
So, okay. But it's written in the law saying that the public there, they could see the public. Okay. Okay.
They insisted.
But you see the reason why Hubert, okay, the reason why the Queen tells Hubert he needs to send home some of the public servants he got, because supposed to enforce these rules by writing. Hitler in there so with the state that magistrate court supposed to run by the Constitution of Anguilla. He talking about his discretion. His discretion, he telling you because he in office, holding office, and he pleasure.
Yeah. He should not be. Yes, the lawyers, I wrote a letter about it, and the lawyers have protested that boy in thing. We have a letter saying that the commissioner of police not being magistrate. The governor.
So when you look at it too, what they put me through in there so is damages to me and my family, because the last date and the first thing in the magistrate code, procedure code, they tell you what the meaning is. When they reach a young person, they tell you that if the child, whether male or female, if them 14 years are under the age of 16. Remember, my child was just 8 years old. He going primary school. In the last date under assault, he wasn't supposed to deal with nothing. That had to go straight to high court, because none of the provisions pointing out that he should be dealing with that case. But I mean, Section 17, Ms. Davis, I give you all the evidence here.
We gave it to our Section 17 Evidence Act. If he did wrong, and he wasn't going to make no question, they have to send the parents to prison. So that's the section you have to deal with.
No, but this section here also states if you had a lawful excuse, I give you all of them in here, so I had a lawful excuse.
Right.
It was in the office, like I say, he holding the courthouse up there as he pleasure time. When I went in there, so I asked him, I was asked to leave my evidence by the door.
They asked us to leave the evidence.
Leave them by the door.
But they can't.
The police.
That was so all of that is to go to the police. How do you leave the evidence by the door? That's on trial.
Okay, I went there, so the 20th of this month here, by the courthouse to file appeal form. Them tell me Diana say that what them give me was just a reminder. The last date, whatever he's doing, to have to be signed and sealed by the magistrate or even by the clerk. The senior magistrate comes to me, tell me I can't do it by myself. There's no way in the last date in there that I need a lawyer to do it. I could appeal it myself.
But you see, in Anguilla, in other places, that has happened because they have the farms. But in Anguilla, they don't have no farms. They got a system set up.
Miss Davis, I went by the same courthouse and get a farm.
They give you the farm?
Yes, and they had others who could come witness that. They went there for farms and do it themselves. So what stupidness I'm telling me? But you see what I'm saying? There's a whole, everybody getting together, there's a discrimination club. What's going on here with me? Because this whole situation with Anguilla and the government involved, they're all of them signing with it.
Let me get this back away. You went by court to file an appeal, and the magistrate tell you that you can't file an appeal.
Because I need a lawyer to do it. I need 3 more farms. I asked her for the farms right here, so while out there, she said I need to go by a lawyer.
The magistrate or one of the clubs?
The magistrate, the senior magistrate.
The same woman, Adina?
Yes. She even said I could need to go back by you to get you to do it.
So, okay, how would the magistrate, what he had in that,
because nobody didn't want to come be with me, because when I was going up there, so I hit them with the law is there for everybody.
Oh, they didn't want you to do something.
The law.
And then how you get back, to get the document?
They mean give them to me, so it look like I got to go on the radio too.
No, that's how you say you went and you got the document.
I went there before. So now I pull them out and went to file them for them to go in before the 14 days so that I could get an answer on one. But how could what she do was wrong, because if I going to send in my appeal form, she wasn't supposed to come tell me so. Whoever had to deal with this had to tell me, well, this so-and-so need done, that's wrong. They're supposed to go where they're supposed to be going with the appeals for them to look at it.
Yeah,
but you see the whole...
So you fill it out, and the magistrate tell you that the magistrate or somebody else did.
The magistrate then went, the girl tell me, oh, Diana said this. I said, listen, I'm not hearing nothing what Diana said. This is what the last state. Diana is Keith Benjamin's family. And I tell the magistrate, clean out. I tell us the same thing, and I say, Keith there with him malpractice. This last state, they should be doing things according to the Constitution of Anguilla. Keith up there doing things according to his pleasure he holding in here. But his discretion earning that with none. No, she gives them back to me. Yes.
That's not public. How she could give them back to you?
But this is what I'm telling you. This.
So even if you file them and they're wrong, you're supposed to go and leave the court of appeal and they're wrong.
But this is why I say, the girl went out there, so she took nearly an hour. To have people in there too, I asked them if this looked official to anybody that would the court supposed to send. I could go home, do the same thing on top of my computer. They could go do it. Anything come from the courthouse, a birth certificate, even a receipt supposed to be stamped and signed by the court.
A person who conduct their own case, the problem is they might not know the legal technicalities, so they could use some technicalities. But you can't tell them that they can. Understand? So they're wrong for that one.
There's this thing, you notice when I tell you India, at least point out to me, it's like nobody doing what I asked them to do, them doing otherwise. The law under Section 50, which he sent me prison for about his thinking, the same law states, without proceeding to conviction, make an order dismissing the charge. Because under section 14 and 15 in the criminal code states,
I come in, you have already been convicted. So, why would I am farmer magistrate, you have already been convicted. So, if I tell him, he knows that if you don't convict him, he could proceed. Right?
Okay, example. If I hit the back of your car, damage it. The impact damage the transmission. Also, the impact cause you to hit your head, mash up the windshield, you get damage your neck, whiplash. Am I only responsible for your bumper? Okay. So when you come in there, so the problem occurs here. How he don't want to hear what happened from behind here?
But that's an appeal. When you come in there, it only comes with you with a probation thing. That was all. He wasn't interested in nothing else. Anything else, as you say, he has to appeal.
Okay, next question. You know anything about the antecedent law?
Antecedent?
Yeah, law.
Yeah, precedent and antecedent. Something that happened before and they follow that course. Then the real thing that happened that was done antecedent.
Okay, well, what happened? That on my record as a life history now for me being in prison. What he was stating there as a criminal offense. That on my record.
You will take the government to court for false imprisonment, right? And then all of that will go away.
But the same thing what he talking about, he recognizes there, so under 300, he supposed they need to fling he out of office. This is what happening.
But he was never supposed to be there.
But this is what I'm saying.
Supposed to be there,
and I never supposed to be in court neither.
You know, I say so. I say he's out of now.
I never supposed to be in court neither, according to the same law under the Education Act 70. Look at these, what I'm doing affecting all of these damages to me and my family. So I can't sit down there so and say, he don't want to hear what happened behind here. Because in any case, in order for the person who in there to understand, I'm got to hear from what happened.
Say that. I spoke to the lawyer, we are trying to get a lawyer from government and people and so forth. When the time passed, he was in prison. So
that lawyer was here, you know. That lawyer was here.
Yes, huh?
That lawyer was here, so I understand. He come, but he come meet with me. He come meet with others, so.
That makes sense?
No.
Oh, he came and he spoke to him, trying to settle the case for you?
I don't know what he spoke with him about.
Okay, so then he's still working for you? But he
no, he ain't working for me. He called me. If he were here, he was supposed to come meet with me. Or he playing.
We want $500. If you don't want, you say pay $40 within a month. So if you don't pay $500, well then you don't pay, and then he can pay for a month, and then that is the can pay. Right? The same thing, you want to pay from there.
When it comes to that, everybody would know the reason why. Because when I went to prison, everybody who know me know I don't get no problem. They know I would never no trouble with land or nobody. And now what he trying to do, you read all the statements. The school, Angel called the school. Angel concealing this evidence from going forward for a settlement. I went now after the 7th in a tribunal with a senior magistrate as chairperson. The chairperson supposed to enforce these things. I got in there so without anything. I say, look, how to put this fear when them got him liars and I he's sitting out here by myself without any. And these reports being put forward. Again, pleasure time.
They should be a report.
I'm not into this stupidness them are playing.
They should be a report.
When I went to prison, I was in there sitting down to have who went on radio say I was out here in there for nothing. And what I'm doing to me is wrong. And to keep getting out, so when he come again end of this month, to come a bigger problem again.
So you put there prison?
I didn't have a problem before because I didn't do nothing.
I'm playing, making no joke with Keatley. He up there using the courthouse for his pleasure time and getting big salary. At the same time, me and my family suffering. Every night we go home without current, without water. But you read it yourself. Them children supposed to be going to school, nothing. Them behind. And the government talking about all the childhood education. What happened to mine? Because them all with family related and political relationship. The same attorney general put inside the last he put in the newspaper, telling you, which he point out under the criminal code 3 and 4, he telling you the laws there for everybody. Don't care your wealth or who you're associated with. And this is the problem we got here. Nobody wants to stand up with you when you're right.
Two, you make it public how they do it justice to you, right? You make it public to everybody here, what it takes. And 3, we write to all these different organizations, people, and make it public.
I mean, Davis, when you say you're writing, I mean, when you say the attorney general in House of Assembly, I mean, even if you had Senate, then somebody could have seen.
No, I spoke to him and he said he don't have nothing to do with it.
The reason why he said that
he don't want anything to do with it. He told me that that he's not getting involved in that. That's what he told me.
The reason is
that I called him to I said him that I tried to figure out how to it's all concerned he's not a magistrate. He should be the other place. So he's not getting involved in none of that.
But even if he say, he don't want to get involved, for me, I still think that Alisa should have still gone to him to show that record that it's still right to him. That he can't say that he ain't get nothing because he's writing copies.
He's not involved in it, but he don't want anything to do with it.
But Ms. Davis, the reason why he tell you so too, he gives consent to that. Okay. He could only. Yeah, but here how it is.
Yeah, he don't want to. He criminal with his case, he don't go talk to Anguilla. So that's one of the other prosecutors because that's one of the other prosecutors. So they would have asked advice, the police would ask advice. But the same year wasn't there. The girl wasn't from that office?
Yeah, Erica Edwards.
I guess that's right.
But you see the reason why he want get saying he getting involved, because he done involved. He gives consent to it. The child is underage for the magistrate to deal with it, and he could only give consent to 64 and 66. No, this got to show the crookedness he's doing because if you notice.
Well, the good excuse is that they return prison, they didn't have time, right? Then after that, now you're out.
Because they're using that as a good excuse. That excuse why them to put me in prison underneath the Education Act, I wasn't supposed to be in there because the same education officer was supposed, she had all the evidence. She know the reason why he out. She had a letter, a lawful excuse, but still I was sent under 70.
So when we get away,
It was in prison wrongfully. I was in prison wrongfully, and he got $2 million. I was got 100,000. Yeah, but look at it. Mine was in prison. Mine was to my character. He do about my antecedents. He got a legal document now stating about a crime to join you. He's damages to me and my family.
Okay, well,
the evidence they're proving I have 10 liars from here, none want to do it. The evidence they're proving what they're doing is wrong. The evidence they're proving I even tried to try to get an appeal in the senior magistrate need me.
When you commit your murder, check the human rights lawyer. Whether you're guilty or not is not important to him. No. 150 grand. Walk with cash in hand, and they go set you free on a technicality. Once you have money,
our people can be stronger, not only with the mind and thought, but if all these rich and famous people who enlightenment you will come in and try. What about the future? This generation. My Highland don't salute. My Highland don't salute.
Okay, what happened? The same education department where it caused this problem and the principal went up there lying. Let me show you how them is a big bluff. This newspaper dated Friday 26 April 2013. In this newspaper, I want you to pay close attention to what I'm about to show you. Anglican church women discuss prevention of violence. Now I want you to look at this picture here. The same principle here, Celestine John, inside of the same thing here is about to prevent against violence is the same principle. I went in there so lie because when I went to her about the situation, she told me she don't care whether the child is out underneath a tree as long as he comes to school. And these are the kind of people inside of the system. Them gotten there so but them doing what they want because the oath they're making everybody else got to stand up with them. Okay. This newspaper here dated Friday 28th September 2012. If you notice in the House of Assembly, and as we're saying about them is a Christian community. Well, I gotta show you the facts and the evidence, and by this you would have to decide if this is really a Christian community. In this paper here, we to say winning at all costs. I want you to bring your attention to here. But even if you don't see it directly, you could always go on the Anguilla newspaper and pull up the same thing which is showing here, page 12, winning at all costs, with the date of the paper which I will present from the front, Friday 20th September 2013. And you can read along where I shine and read the whole thing. To say them here telling you to be honesty and fairness in all of these things. And Ivinia Benjamin here went on with her speech. See here? Winning at all costs. Destroying people's character, all kind of thing, even with lawyers and all kind of thing, which you will hear for yourself. What happened? When I point out in Talaya, in the same gate where myself I got shares in the same company. This paper Friday, 13 September 2012. In this paper, here, pointing out the shareholders, $100,000 shares in Anley. Myself, one of them name and he name them. Okay. And the reason why the school was doing me all of this too This newspaper here dated Friday 15 November 2013. See where the ministry named 7 teachers of the year award. Over to page 18. Page 18 of this, point out all of them here. The same, this picture here, the principal, Rodney Ray, and this other person. Rodney Ray, when he was chairman of Anguilla board, he was also the high school principal and part of the education department. Continue on page 20. Page 20 here. 10 here. See here? You hear Jerome Roberts talking about the same thing inside the paper. But the reason why I show you this paper to show you something in it. I want you to look closely at here. We're to point out Chanel, point out the shareholders, giving thanks to the sponsors. We're to say with the same thing inside of the edition of the Anguilla elsewhere. The same thing there saw with the school. Why I'll show you, see all what happening to me and the reason behind it. This newspaper dated Friday, 29 November 2013. In this newspaper, page 23, page 23, Chanel Petty Barrett, Permanent Secretary for Education Department, and in here, she point out she thanking them big sponsor, Anguilla Electricity Company Anguilla. So with this here, so by sponsor, they just carry the name, but that is a bribe to cover all the wrong and the crimes that Anguilla committing, that got all of them standing up with them. And in this paper here, you'll see Jerome Roberts sitting down with Chanel Petty Barrett. Right here, he is the Ministry of Education. The same Jerome Roberts who used to work at Anguilla. And in this paper here, which I had up before, Friday 29 November 2013. In this newspaper, I want you to pay close attention and you would observe a lot of things here for yourself. The same Jerome Roberts here. The same Jerome Roberts here is Ministry over Home Affairs. You see what going on? The same Jerome Roberts here, if you read his whole column here, what he write, in here so he talk about violence. Violence, he tell you take difference from whether physical, economic and different thing. But you notice me, my family going through the extreme with everything. in what I'm preaching, I mean practicing, in terms of the laws I'm supposed to uphold, which I point out everything inside this video for everybody and for the world to see what's going on. Because we ain't got no leaders around here. Like I said, I leave you listen to some of them. So the government system here ain't functioning. And I'm talking about the youths on the outside, but who we got to look up to. Who should be in the system, upholding the laws, to set an example, doing what they want.
Hold not thy peace, O God of my salvation, because the mouth of the wicked and of the sinful is open.
The 31st of May would have been the first. 29th October is the second one. The 9th of November. 12th, November. The 2-1 name and country. These are 2 days when I was in this other one when I was having the 5th of February would have been first time having in Miami-Dade. And now I had to go back to 1st of March would be the 6th time in Miami-Dade.
You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let him hear.
If you had to go to court with a lawyer, all the things that argue there, that the law don't even allow him, and I'm serious, the law doesn't even allow him to put you in prison. No, he ain't got a bad attitude. He has a right to be angry. He got a right to be angry. The man got his job. They take away his job from cancer church school, so he's supposed to go around begging people and supposed to church school people to give him whatever they want. It ain't fair. It ain't right. It ain't right and it ain't fair. And when you see something ain't fair, people got a right to be angry. I know what people are doing, punishing him for the act. That's what he's saying.
But he's saying about, okay, the law he do it under about character, antecedent, age, health, and mental case of the person, right? Mm-hmm. But he had didn't even have a touch.
Exactly. He knows psychologist.
What my character was, he should be basing on. Mm-hmm. Why I should be on good behavior for what in the last state under the Education Act, I had a lawful excuse I wasn't even supposed to be in court.
Exactly. And that's the whole problem. Not a probation officer to punish the father or father. He hasn't done anything. Probation and parole are for people who commit crimes. And you put them on probation and say, hey, behave yourself, don't go broke nobody else's house, give me a chance, don't steal, don't kill, that's a different topic. They will be used against him. That's basically about 27 people.
Yeah, but even in there with people the law under assault, he can't even touch that because the child is underage, even he's 14 years. So what he doing up there is totally wrong, then he needs to get rid of it.
He talks about discretion. Discretion ain't supposed to come into law. You're supposed to stick to the law.
But that's what I'm saying.
The public didn't know that. I think that our phone and go out there know that putting people in jail if you can't send a child to school. I'm not that in other places, you have to pay to send a child to school. And if you can't pay to send a child to school, the child don't go to school. Even government public schools, you got to pay. When we used to go to school, you got to pay $13 every term. And that was most like a book. You had to pay $13 every term. And you had to pay the bus to take you to school. And if you didn't turn up to school, that was your business and your parents' business. Now these rich people got laws that they must come to school regardless. Them collecting $20,000 a month for nothing. And they realize that if RSC has people who don't know where the next dollar coming from and can't send it to school, they don't care. They put you in jail. Especially they don't like you.
But the law states that these matters should be dealt with within a short time. And if you were treated unjust, it's your rights to have a lawyer, which every law states. Mm-hmm. And they got the matter pending, causing all of this problem. So the problem is the government.
Yeah, but he was the government, he not before him. You see, whenever I bring up Anguilla, he tried to put it aside. That's a different thing. So they got everything separated. You separated.
But what caused the problem?
But that's what I'm doing. They put Anguilla separate, you separate, the child separate, but all three need to come together.
Yeah, because this whole thing is from what the manager start with. They don't want to solve. So everything is one.
The point is you put a charge at all. Just like you go to prison. You go to prison. You have been punished. Nobody can take back. Nobody can take back and say, well, you have never been to prison. The law is common law and law of fairness. Once anybody works with you more than 2 years, you can't talk about that they have a contract and you can let them do it. You got to give them notice. And his contract requires 3 months notice. They use the law wrong. The law was not fair. They're trying to, the people are angry. They punishing some people and not others.
Everything is upside down right now. Everything is upside down.
Yeah, and then blaming the young people didn't make themselves. But he's supposed to stop to death and keep it quiet. How could you be that reasonable?
But this what happening to me now.
Hmm?
I look my situation. I ain't do nothing. Them dragging me in there, doing me all kind of thing and punishing me because who in there who should bow here?
I tell you, it's unfair. And we should stop it. It's unfair. Yeah. Exactly. What if I have you out of a job? Oh, what did you do? No. What did you do?
Nothing.
No. So that is fair. But I think that your case is so wrong. What are you doing against you? Right? I think that some organizations, even if you have one with you, that people, you know, I was thinking about that. And you wouldn't mind people knowing right?
No, for me to get out here because Keatley and he needs just doing what I want.
And tell people how could they do all of these people about there and they punishing him because they say that own attitude. You understand? Seeing just from the choice because like they are guilty, right? This is wrong, you can't do that to people. Anyone who like stand up and fight them, right? You are conscious. And you fight them, right? So we need to take this forward because they're wrong with him. They're wrong. Very wrong. I told Keatley section 70, it doesn't talk about cemetery prison. It doesn't talk. I'm not that. The channel again had a difference. Not a probation officer for him. He do nothing.
But you see, the reason why that too, Angel called the school principal. Angel the one concealing these evidence. Angel telling them use the child to make it look like a case now, separately, but it's the same thing coming from Anlec problem. Anlec problem is what causing this. We went to a meeting there, so the 7th of this month with the tribunal. They bring police in there so to search us out. Just be here, you know. They had police there with guns. In this, they say now that the manager and the same human resource officer went tell the board that I was never there.
That you wasn't there.
To the tribunal, and these are the kind of people that got out here so running the place.
That they didn't come to the tribunal?
That's what I'm saying.
But the magistrate wasn't there?
Sure they are.
So how
but there's a whole bunch of line, you see. What they're doing is to say that I'm dangerous, to make it look like them got case now with me. The man sent me home, he said they gonna affect my life. I ain't do nothing, and he joined me, he calls him the same one who killed Clinton Bryan out there, so who should not be in there. He and his brother caused it. No, Keatley. No, Clinton Bryan is fellow got shot in the power station yard, 2009. What happened? Keatley and Tommy is more or less like neighbors. Them live in the same neighborhood. Keatley lives up in the Cops, and Tommy lives up Style B.
The probation thing is so bad. But he was never supposed to be on probation. That's the crazy thing.
I was never even supposed to be in court.
I told her that there's no justice. Them blaming young people. They don't understand. And they are away from reality, you know. They think you rich. And you're supposed to tell me, well, you poor. And you sit down and behave yourself and do what we tell you. People are not doing. Okay? This whole society is supposed to be just for everybody. Everybody's supposed to be
That's what the last paper saying what I'm doing.
It's getting worse and worse and worse. It's not only him. You are ever spoke to who's the representative?
Who?
Who's the representative for your area?
Jerome Roberts.
You were spoken?
Yes, I called Jerome Roberts and I asked him now that he's in the position with Walcott now, with this thing with Angel holding up these files, concealing them, with this matter going forward, and he say he had to wait on further instructions, so.
So what I'm going to be angular of corruption from the state corruption. Well, government has the team.
I mean, that looks as if it's a far-fetched dream.
No. You'd be surprised what money this government have to pay all the time. This government, they have to pay Homer. They have to pay
Homer, the farmer magistrate?
Yeah. And exactly, they have to pay Homer. They have to pay him too. Because they had no right to send him to prison for what? How is that going to help the child?
But you hear underneath the same law, he said that I was in prison for to say without proceeding to conviction. He locked him up. Make an order dismissing the charge. But now was back in there about probation. So the man don't know what he's doing.
And as I was telling somebody, that I was telling another man that I was supposed to go court with, and I tell him, I don't want to go court to argue with a commissioner of police. God, that's always the key to it. He's a commissioner of police. He shouldn't be there. He shouldn't be there. I don't care whether I have anything for him. He shouldn't be there. Commissioner of police shouldn't be there. He shouldn't. Right? In other words, shouldn't be arguing with the commissioner of police because he really can't see the point.
With the corruption he was in. But the place where he's sending people he need to go.
And I don't find nobody who hear that story and could agree with sending a parent to prison for non-federal service. Injustice. And that's why even though I don't really want to get back into the court, that's why when I feel that's why I'm getting wrong. You can't do that. And as I say, they're punishing me. They're punishing me.
They're punishing me because of fighting my case. They want me drop it. The man sent me home for nothing.
They think about
his cousins who in there who had to go home for killing the fella, them he went.
Them promote him.
He promote him. The another year after the man was dead. So like he was crucified for nothing. But I just sent home for the same thing, stand up for what the company, the rules in the company. Now I went walk on top of the same transmission line going down Jeremiah Road, because I was here. Walcott and all of them write him a letter, which is the same letter you guys say. I was walking, he said I was walking, pay me. Mr. Kumabash, I talked to him the night before I went in court, the 9th of November, the night. Mr. Kumabash tell me that the evidence there to prove that is the government's fault, not mine.
So the affiliate didn't have a lawyer. That case to the NDA. That case to the NDA. That case was supposed to end, but even if they come up with the same stuff they say, I was supposed to say, okay, send a child to school in 7 days. That was supposed to say, but people don't know so.
Them could say what they want, out of a job because of like them being the daughter name. I was dragged a winter tribunal, wrong place, summons again, with no liar. They search me out down there, so the picture them painting for me ain't no nice picture. So how could I get a job? So how could my child go to school by me sending him? So there's a bunch of uneducated fools here that are there so about them in these high positions are causing the problem.
I was telling him this, I tell her, I sent him to that, he I talking behind people back, I said all the time. And I said already, I said educated lunatic. Yeah. So she thinks she never wasn't talking, I said, yeah, I said all the time. You take most of the comments, secretary, I wrote that, I take it too. And you just stand and read on the steps of the teacher resource center on Monday, right? And I tell him, I said, I need to abolish the pay of deputy governor. So there's a taxpayer money. So he said, Right? Because that's all stupid executive. He's supposed to be a lawyer.
If you look at it, Angel is a liar. Walt Fish is a liar. Chanel Pettis Fish is a liar. Look where them is. Them only get there in high positions because of who them related to. That's the way they from here work.
All the friends of that.
Yeah.
Optimist Club.
Because the same lad here, so if Chanel had a great review before, should I see Randa Khan with dead right?
But not only that, Andrew, you know Andrew, because of her stepmother.
What?
Because of stepmother. You didn't know what that?
When that was?
The outbreak about 2 years ago. Met me, she told me Andrew beat her, and then they took her to court. They took her to court. And the way they present the case, the picture was there, right? But according to them, he present her case against her. Against Andrew. He present her case against her. So the case gets her. See that? And go to one, she tell me to leave after that. Me see the post office to tell me to walk me to hear the truth. So that's what, so you see, so now, that's the corruption. That's the type of corruption going on. And so now she obligated to the AG and SEN and then, because she was only prosecuted and out of the job. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just the governor. When she talked on the radio about how Anguilla and how he didn't know Africa, how we trade everything and how the British do that and the things doing in the country. And we just sit down and
Them rob and them kill innocent blood, them come spill and them fight and draw nil. I want empty and not fill. Now listen for the God when him said thou shalt not kill. That one attack like a crow skill. Me call them judgment. Nothing can save them.
The next performer coming up on stage here right now, he is the reigning Calypso monarch, and he have a serious selection. This one is dealing with education because he's a school teacher. Most of the crimes we having, we blaming 16-year-olds, 17, 18. Some of these children still going to school, and the name of this song is to change the system, even the educational one. So when you sit back and relax and welcome on stage, Morris Peters,
if you look around in the country or the town, you're bound to notice young people always getting in trouble. We have a tendency to blame the youth. Oh yes, we quick to condemn, but in fact is they are all products of the system. And the education system as it is today is frustrating the youths and leading them astray. The way the system does function, it causes them to believe that it is very necessary to work to achieve. So it is not surprising to me when they stop you and look for them, because they would never make to work to achieve anything. I say to change the system, bring it back as it used to be. You can't standard 4 until you master standard 3. I say to change the system, now we make it performance based. All taxpayers' money will continue going the waste. Change the system, otherwise we all will be sad. It's the only hope I see.
Well, did you know the pen is stronger than the knife, and they can kill you once, but they can kill you twice. Did you know destruction of the flesh is not the ending to life? Fear not of the Antichrist.
The document that you were speaking about for the 9th, for the 12th,
Yeah.
and you like spoke to the clerk, and that wasn't for you to get a copy. That was for the prison, but if you want, you can get a copy of a certificate of conviction. You have to bring $100 each time to get that, which you would pay.
No, but they sent me out here from the 9th. I was supposed to get a copy of what I went out here for by law. So she can't say this ain't what I ain't supposed to get. Excuse me? This farm, this appeal will be free to go high court. This is it? Got to say in the magistrate's court.
Yeah, because it's from a magistrate matter.
Okay.
That's what you would say. Please further down it says, fill in the information. This is the
6 times that I were underneath you. Excuse me, Diana. The charge that I was summoned with the take over from the 9th of November, can I have that? Yeah, but on the last date with it, I was supposed to get it in writing when I went over there, and 4 days after I could have get it, I get nothing.
The only thing that we could give you is the information. The clear condition. We would give you the farm down and go around with record.
Yes, but you sending me to prison, I need to know why I'm going in there for this last thing. The last day he was supposed to tell me verbal in there, which he did. And he told me writing in a language where I could understand, which now I tell me I need $100 to get it.
That's what the law says.
No, I'm still on the law.
Okay, we'll check for the conviction thing, and that's what we do for the charge.
Excuse me, miss. Could you call Nakisma, please? Let me see if I could see her.
Still trying to get clarification on certain things, but only this last time that you come, you can appeal, that you have 14 days in which to appeal. And my understand that you came to court, you want to put on probation.
Yeah, but Diana telling me that let me talk to somebody else. Knock it here. Could you see if I get any probation? Yeah, but she working along with Kid Leda, her family. This information here. The last thing around here, Nina.
Go ahead down to see Mr. Gunn.
Huh?
You can go ahead down to see Mr. Gunn.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I come there again, and Diana said that I would have to pay for this thing. Why they send me to prison for the night, which the last day that whatever you convict me of, you're supposed to give in writing. And now this, I can't get that.
You can't get any copy of the complaint.
The full thing. The full thing.
How much you say you got to pay? Then they have the order of court. How much you say you got to pay?
She's saying $100, but the last date, if you convicting somebody, you tell them in court in writing, and you give it to them.
Which section of the law is
under the Magistrate Procedure Code.
Which section?
Even in the Constitution laws. Diana send somebody, give somebody one, and now tell me I got to pay for mine. I witnessed it the same day when I was in the court. A guy had a case there with a girl. He broke into her house, forcible entry. Underneath of the law in the criminal code, people tell him he ain't got any more there, so to game nothing on he record because he find out that he was an engineer that worked by his right. He tell him $500 and send him home. Then give he his charge. No mine, I ask him for mine. Diana got tell me I gotta pay $100 for it.
She tell you $100 for it?
She tell me I gotta pay $100 to get it.
To get a copy of
the first
report?
Yeah. What they send me in prison for from the 9th. He said that I refused to send the child to school, and the case was supposed to continue till to finish. He said he got remand me till Monday, and I went prison because he said.
Remand you till Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, but he said. But what he remanded me for, because he's saying he wanted to know who my advisor was, so to just to send me in prison so I don't see nobody, and then come back out here Monday. Because when I went down there and tell me I ain't allowed no phone calls and no visitation from nobody. So all I ask her, the last date you send somebody out there, so you're supposed to tell them orally and put it in writing and give them. And this here, so I can't get this full thing. This can't be valid. This ain't valid.
Well, I guess to get a full thing, that's what you send me. $100 for.
No, not this one. From the 9th. But she said I gotta pay $100. I think you need to call her in here then, so that she could explain it to you.
Hello, Maria. Diana there? Call. I said when she could check here for me, please. Okay.
Excuse me, Naki, this would be the proper form to appeal a case to send it High Court.
Yeah.
Normal person could appeal it and appear from the court to deal with the case themselves without a lawyer too.
Yeah, the best thing would be that if you get a lawyer, help to prepare the papers.
Yeah.
Because you may not know how to prepare whatever.
Okay.
Or little point the farms or whatever.
Yeah.
The thing are legally to assist
Yeah.
persons who can afford land. And if you go by the AG's office, you may not get farms and whatever to do. So the lawyer can prepare and prepare. And then you could come to court and talk to the judge yourself.
Okay.
But the papers got to be in.
Yeah. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Papers got to be in, and they've got to be in correctly. Because if they're incorrect, the other side presents the appeal in a case that the magistrate did. The AG office, he's on the other side because the AG office represents
Court.
the government, magistrate, and all the other government officials and so
Mm-hmm.
people who work for the government there.
Yeah.
Once you're appealing
Yeah.
a job, the decision that they give in the job or they're doing.
Yeah.
Being the lawyer for them and personal
Okay.
interferences and whatever. So if somebody had a fight over there, AG lawyer for that.
Yeah.
So once bringing a case against a decision he made, the AG will have to come in with that.
Okay.
So the problem is getting help with the farm and getting them before the court, and then you can get up and talk to the judge.
Okay. I got another question. I got this thing coming up to my case there with Anley.
The answer is yes?
No. Chairperson doing who's sitting on it. They tell me that I need a lawyer to request these reports that we need, which from the chairperson who appointed under Section 18 of the Labor Department Act. I had different lawyers, they may sending over none. So we're told to put a date for the matter to get solved because of the situation with the family before them use the choice saying that I was the problem. She is sending over these reports, but the last lawyer now tell him, how could he properly represent me if he don't have these papers in order to defend me? And he tell them they need to put the provisions of the Fair Labor Standard Act in place before they put a date. Now they put a date and expect me to come inside of there without these things, like the stated under the law.
The chairman gets report from where?
Okay, to went through a hearing with Labor Commissioner, Labor Minister.
So the chairman got a report from the Labor Commissioner and
She should have them, yeah.
But if so, then if she ain't giving them the Labor Commissioner and whoever is supposed to make you available on, because you were involved in the matter.
But that's what I'm saying, and then another person told me that they would summons to appear in there so with me when them got nothing to do with it. So, however,
to come in if he had no hearing yet, or?
I get summons to appear for the same hearing too. But now, my lawyer was saying he was supposed to come for this case on his team, and now till I going on no lawyer. And the last date that the worker and the employee would have an assessor. Also,
you got an assessor?
I put one for assessor here, but also chosen respectively by them somebody to represent them, which would be a lawyer. And now these things, because what they were doing, lawyer that I had first from by Pam, after she went away, them dragged me in court about her choice when I had a lawful excuse and doing me all these things.
You're mixing up the two things, and you're mixing up the two things. You gotta keep them apart. One is a thing with a tribunal anglet, and then one is a thing with a choice, right?
Yeah.
And man goes under two different procedures.
I know.
Yeah.
I know there's two different matters.
Two different procedures.
But what causing all of this is because they may want to settle. Because this thing with the reports that he's sending is still got this thing pending.
Yeah, okay. So you're saying that the chairman of this committee, the chairman of the tribunal now, ought to have reports from the labor and got to have a report from
to understand it, to understand it.
And you want copies of them?
The liar, all the liars I had, tell them send the copies to them so that I could properly represent me.
And you ain't getting that?
They ain't getting none. But now them drag me in there, so...
Well, you're saying now them send them to the chairman, whoever the chairman is?
I know if them send them to she, but we requesting them because this is what Shanda pointed out.
Where are you requesting from?
The chairperson who's sitting for the tribunal. I'm to understand what I'm talking about.
No, I'm trying to understand. It's you requesting from the chair, but Does the chair have them? Why don't you make a request from who's supposed to send them?
Well, we done that too. We do it to
You
the
didn't get it
labor.
from them?
No, we do it to the labor minister. We do it to Angel Wilson. Nothing come. Can I have the copy of the paper?
Trying to understand you as I'm okay? Because if you have a thing up there and they have notes or whatever, he has requested, he must have been part of them. They should give him a copy of that.
Yeah, but I ain't giving none, but I want to settle it without these things. Because
So that means that maybe he said nothing to the choice group, they cheer the choice.
well, you don't know what I'm saying. Probably want to fix the way they want. Because these reports got to manage a decision he made in front of the minister.
Oh, okay. For the minister then should be impartial person should be down the line and provide you with a copy because say nothing he say nothing, to go against him or anything.
Yeah, but it's from 2011 we requesting these things and this 2013.
And all the rest of that.
Yeah.
So if you involvement don't show up time after time, well even the chair don't get down. Disgusted them that look for another chair, not that the case will be thrown out because it's something coming to the labor thing, it's still going to be there pending.
Yeah.
In the magistrate court now they don't come up on Saturday, they don't come up, the magistrate got the option of dismissing the case, right? Or sending the selected to come. According to what case it would be, then send to the person to come. If it's a civil one, maybe they'll just throw it out and then you could bring it back if you want, or the case,
Yeah.
But now this tribunal, because all that happens is that maybe the chairperson of the tribunal will change, but it's still going to be something outstanding from the labor.
Yeah.
So we can show up and say to them, well look, I need it so I can properly represent myself or go to the lawyer or whatever. They still show your interest, but you're being hindered by they not producing these documents you're asking for.
Yeah. But you see my situation, nobody ain't listening to me, want to hear my side of it.
But I got to hear your side. They got to hear your side. So when they finish talking, you say, okay now, can I have my say?
Yeah, because when I went there the first time in court, them ordered me to leave my evidence by the door. Tell them.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? Evidence by the door.
Because them not had the facts to back it.
No, that's wrong. If that is true, that is wrong.
Darius Duncan make me do it twice. And he said me, the first time he said I leave it. Yeah. I don't know who asked him to tell me so. But I had a bag, had them in a bag. I told him I got these here to present to my innocence here. He said me check them out the bag. I check them out. When I came up there, so when to my time to present what I had, I was giving them up for them to see, them refused to take it. Then the second time when I went over on the south side and told me leave them by the door, I couldn't have moved carry them with me. I had to leave them there. And he put a reconnaissance on top of me by threatening me and my wife for nothing. See the same problem I got here? They sent me prison from the 9th of November. He tell me in there, so he was supposed to tell me all and put it in writing, give me just like how they giving everybody else. And I getting treated different. Now I gotta pay $100 just to get it.
I know the truth will reveal you now. Oh, expose them. Expose them. We're gonna take up the mask of their faces. Who that is? So what goes on in the darkness will be revealed unto light. Yeah. Judge is the jury, judging both guilt and innocency. So don't think you could do the wrong. Still expect to get the right. Judge see. Yes, Judge see and know.
Good afternoon. Can I see Jerome, please? Franklin Pettis. Why are you choosing that professor?
Oh, we're going to a meeting that was not requested through the normal route where entertaining but my PS card is there. So somebody was like, So we've always had somebody sitting on meetings. So Karen is just here basically as a listener. He is not participating in discussion.
So what the notes are about?
No, we're in a meeting. It's the case that there is something that we want to discuss. We take notes. That's what it's all about. Nothing else.
Okay, I come
Hold on.
to ask you.
One second.
I'm getting real formal now. All I come to ask you is I appoint Anguilla Benjamin under Section 18. We had a tribunal. She was not acting under the capacity which was appointed under. She said she was to write a letter to the government ministers which was verbally contract. So me and my family out there, there's hardship still, and I have to contact her about this letter so I could move on with my case.
The last time you met with him, that was the last thing that was probably said to you, right, huh?
She said she was going to remove herself from the meeting, write the government ministers, so that I could move on with the case. But the last time I see her after that, I asked her, she's saying she decided not to remove herself again because of my situation. My situation, she got a false. She know it.
When was that? When was the last time you saw?
I don't even remember the date.
June?
No, that would have been in April. No,
Just some time ago.
the best, if I know you're taking notes and you want it directly within, I can't give you the exact date. So if you want the date, I could call you back on top of that. But that's all I come here to do. Because the last time I spoke with you, you said you're waiting on further instructions. I mean, she was appointed underneath of this thing for the tribunal. The tribunal was done already. And I want this letter so I could move on my case.
Alright, the most that I can do and state here is to find out what is this letter that was supposed to be written to the minister, because I have not received a letter from anybody pertaining to your case in this tribunal.
Yeah, but I had called you and you say you was waiting on further instructions.
No, I'm pleased still. I have not received anything from the tribunal, so I'm still waiting.
But I mean, are you appointed? Who's the boss here? Or that she are you?
Give me your cell number, the same cell number that you have to use. Alright, we'll follow up on this and get back to you.
How soon? Coming you're taking notes, I would like to know how soon you'll be able to follow up after just a phone call.
Well, as soon as I can get information, I will respond to you on it. I can't give you a date. Come here and actually find out from right now.
I know you can't give my date, but I would like to know how soon you'll...
As soon as possible. As soon as possible.
Because it's ridiculous now. I went up there by the courts today with a matter and locked a warrant and doing anything without warrant and
that day will come when Emperor Selassie I shall rise the world they get to youth them from out of Islam, yeah. And the day I would love to see their face, all those people they do to the human race, and try to take things out of place, run away to space, shoot them in the air.
Good morning. General Robertson? Yes, good morning. I'm staying too long. If I'm staying too long, what happened? I went by the doctor to see yesterday. My youngest child, Along, the bus of fire had to take pictures. He now had a problem here. His hand broke out, and I carried by the doctor, they prescribed some medicine. I explained to the doctor, I'm not working, I can't pay for it. I went by the hospital and I was refused to get medical attention.
How much is it? How much is the medical attention?
I don't know how much to do. Then put me on to someone in charge here, and I went, and she put me on to the cashier, and the cashier said she can't do nothing about it.
No, she will able to do anything unless she gets instructions. What is the situation with what is the situation with social welfare? Collection that we want.
Social welfare department, development, all of them had letters which run the panel law in Miami-Dade, so that they didn't have a lot less use but he nothing knew that it's the thing he know about that it's a government situation. The same situation we had when they refused to send over these reports. That is not offending. In casting artists, it's a standard situation what the casting.
Find out what is the cost of the medication, and I would mind again.
Jerome, this is about the same situation the Foreign Secretary argues to get a liar to request. I had several liars request a report for the tribunal. She gets letters, Wakat had letters, nothing. The me answer none. The liar and Tiga send number emails, the me send none. And this is what casting me. Because the same manager sit down in front of him there and say, he's all about looking good and by having me that way. He and the rest of management look bad. He can't charge to pay out to them. But now to come down to that and they have to settle them.
Yeah, but that's the whole, we talk about that in the last thing here. That's your lawyers really got.
Yeah, but I tell you, to start out the same senior magistrate, are you point she under?
She's there, we talk about it, she's still,
well, other than the most, she done conduct it already and she do it wrong. She come in there favoring a particular part and she been biased.
But I don't know whether you get a settlement on it. And in the interim, what's happening is that you and your family.
But this is what I'm saying.
But I'm saying, until you also come to some understanding that, look, doesn't have to be settled one way or the other.
Not general, not one way or the other. This thing supposed to be a court matter. The law there is for everyone. You can have people in these positions in the law.
If they, not interested in the tribunal, you want to take them out of court, and let's take them in that route.
Well, I'll have a liar.
Let us be no longer want this matter, and that's what the tribunal. And let's take it to court.
She appointed on tribunal. She got it yesterday. You got acting that tell you she know what you're talking about. She functioning. The law ain't say where you come from, you come here and do what you want. The law says the people in here supposed to ensure these laws underneath the fire. But you got here just saying not to dress up.
No, just check the thing too.
The boss I said ticket to go to the moon. Children, tell me who is the boss? Who is the boss? Is the boss make life? Or is he the Antichrist?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, gentlemen.
Yes, good afternoon.
How you doing, man?
Yes,
you have some boy matter. You know boy matter.
What happened?
When he was telling me anything that I don't know about it.
Alright,
I've read a lot about it, I know you have to be posted and stuff regardless of it, right?
Oh, yeah, we posted that a lot of things.
Yeah, well, we talk about it.
Yeah.
And, so if you're not saying you could tell me that I don't know about this situation. I know the situation very well. All of us know the situation very well.
yes, that's the problem, what happening with the whole thing, because knowing the situation is one thing, but solving it is another thing, because as you would know, I went by Minister of Home Affairs for the tribunal and them do what they want. But I went by the courthouse to get a form to file my case. Them give me an appeal form for Court of Appeal. Yeah. Okay, I tell them what I need is, I ask them how much court they got. They got a Supreme Court, they named High Court, Court of Appeal, they got Family Court, District Court. I say, well, how come you could give me a form for Court of Appeal? And when I asking, I went to court, I was locked up too.
You went to put on a different matter, you went to put on a child matter.
Yeah, which wasn't supposed to be a child matter. Okay. I'm now asking for forms for the High Court. Them tell me them don't have none. I ask for waiver forms, them tell me them don't have none.
You want to go for
For the same matters.
The wrongful termination.
And the child issue.
Okay.
And them tell me them ain't got none. I went there so this morning. The girl tell me she know over here so 100 times. And she cuts me off. I mean a public place. She tell me don't come back there.
Well, here's on that particular issue, right? That's a matter of the political area has no jurisdiction no whatsoever. That's a matter of January. January is the only for the government not to have any jurisdiction from the government. That's where our constitution is messed up. Alright, so we have no say over the public government. Now, on your particular matter, you issue from everybody standpoint is wrong. Somebody you without any Tommy is involved in that nomination, right?
Yes.
Well, Tommy is out on administrative leave now because they investigating him over some wrongdoing, which you can take your case into consideration. The only recourse you really have, to be honest, right, based on our labor code, is either through court system, which is demanding, which is long, because you've been doing this for 3 years, right?
Okay, going 3 years. What happened?
Oh, wait, I just wanted to say something. To the board of Anguilla. Now, this board of Anguilla is willing to work with you. I know you spoke to them.
No, I want to go through no board. It's the proper procedure.
Yeah, but the proper procedure is what's the proper procedure in your view?
My proper procedure, in my view, is through the court because them applied a lot to me for nothing. I was dragging court 6 times. The senior magistrate, who you know dealing with it as a chairperson, was sending me summons to appear underneath a Keatley most of the time before she solved it. I was locked up 3 times. I went up there so them keep lying to me saying that me ain't got this, that me ain't got that. I mean, what we got courthouse for? I went to Stanley Reed, nothing done. She wrote to Stanley Reed. Stanley Reed is, like I say, the permanent, deputy governor. Okay, acting deputy governor.
No, he isn't.
He's a deputy governor now?
I was trying to be, before we came in office.
Okay,
the governor for the last 6 or 7 years.
But I mean, he was lying to me because when I went to him and asked him about, tell him about the same thing what Keatley doing, he told me, no, them can't do nothing about it. And the Constitution say when them in there doing what they want, also the governor could appoint them and also remove them.
Yeah, that's true.
He told me no.
Tell you know what?
He told me whoever tell me so fooling me.
No, the governor can appoint and can disappoint them for real.
I know that.
The magistrate, chief of police, those things. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, but he told me that them can't do it.
But he's wrong. Well, he's wrong. He's lying to you. But he know better. But he was a liar working in the chamber.
Okay, the senior magistrate, which is the chairperson, right?
Who's that,
so,
Benjamin, the lady?
Ivinia Benjamin. I mean, these people is head over the executive government, and these people, they should ensure the laws being followed by the writing. He ain't doing that because it's a friendship thing. Okay, another matter I had. My youngest child had fallen down, get chopped. Somebody substitute to pay for the medical attention. My son had a problem there last week. I went to the doctor by the clinic. I explained on the situation. She called someone here at the hospital. Then tell me to go down there. When I went down there by the hospital, I was refused medical attention for my child. I come back by Jerome. I tell Jerome, Joel Wilson, got these reports hold up. Them tell me that I went over there, so I sit down with 3 of them from the same ministry. Them tell me when this lady get appointed, which is Ivinia, I would get a report. I get none. Jerome called her, she tell Jerome, and he called me back, tell me that she say, get a lawyer to write to her, and she would send the report. I had numerous liars write to her. No report, but them holding date. Them had a date for the tribunal when the lawyer tell her not to put these in place until all this thing come forward. But I mean, Russell Reed also put in the papers and say on the radio that they're making a mockery of the laws. Look at it. I get fired for nothing from Tommy. He violated the labor laws. He broke them laws. I done nothing. I drag in court for nothing. Punished. Put in prison, was poisoned just to get rid of me because them don't want me to go forward my case. No, I went to court. I simply asked them for a farm for high court. Them tell me I appeal farm. Now what is I appealing? I tell them I want a farm for high court. Them tell me them ain't got no. But if you look at it, the whole thing, what happening here is the government problem. You got people inside of the government ain't functioning. So like if you got parts that ain't functioning, you don't expect it to work properly.
You know what I think, honestly? I mean, when you look at this situation, you haven't read a book on your situation. No, seriously.
You're the first person telling me, so I hear that about
no, because it's
100
like
times.
a grand conspiracy. It seems like a grand conspiracy, like somebody got to hurry. You know, like, okay, you got the governor, you got the general manager of Anglic, you got a farmer board of Anglic, you got civil servants, the court, everybody is in collusion, you know what I mean? It's just a strange. You would not believe the amount of times your situation have come up, you know, from our standpoint, you know. But government, in terms of the ministers of government, only have so much authority. They can't go to the laws and so forth. And when somebody gets fired, even wrongfully, there are two reports to the tribunal. I remember you went to the tribunal, like 2010, late 2010, or early 2011. Down the more here.
2011.
Yeah, 2011. Yeah, I've been to the tribunal a couple of times, right? Because I spoke to you a few times on field.
No, that wasn't
more
the
than once,
tribunal.
Right?
The only...
You remember when I came to the door and then I didn't
yeah, that was...
you and the Hodge fellow, Shot brother, and some other people. You don't remember that time?
Yeah. That was the stage to go to before we reached the tribunal.
So I never reached the tribunal.
We reached the tribunal on the 7th of March, there just now.
This year?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, the woman in there, so the senior magistrate have conducted the way they want, so nothing could knock them out of that.
You to the tribunal?
This guy here was my assessor.
Right.
She summons the wrong person to come as my assessor. She had a letter, she point out to me in there that he's my assessor, still summons somebody else.
Who is himself?
Curtis Rowan. The last date I was supposed to have a liar. All of this I didn't have none, but she won't conduct it.
Who's that guy, Bina?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at...
They have the tribunal, they put it off.
They had it.
They had it?
Yeah. She make a decision say that she was the right to the government ministers removing herself.
Oh, she should back up.
And now up to this day she ain't want right to none.
But let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question though. Alright. Let's remove all of it. You're in this position now. What would make you happy? I just want to get a, you know, a sense of
what would make me happy is to go through the court and have everything done by law, where I'll be, you know, granted with by law and apply the law to who's doing me the same thing. Because in a court, the court ain't nothing about no law to facts, nothing. Because when I went in there, it was what he opinion and he thinking.
Yeah. He think I'm giving no justice. Alright. Huh? No, I know what he said. He wasn't supposed to magistrate. He came from the chief of police. The police officers themselves went because we have to do a report where you go to the governor. The governor ignored the Bar Association report, the police officers report, and the rules of procedure. The governor, only the governor can appoint a magistrate. The police commission wrote against people being a magistrate. The Anguilla Bar Association, which comprises of the lawyers, all the lawyers, wrote against a legal opinion against Hitler becoming magistrate. Everybody did it. Wrote against him. Even the government, you remember that, wrote against because you cannot come directly from police because there are cases pending that he oversaw as the chief of police. Now he got to go and judge him as magistrate. So there's supposed to be a period of time, I can't remember how many years it is, right? Before you can transition into that opposition like that. The government doing everything and he and given the job.
Another question.
But anyway, but no, you don't answer the question yet.
I answer it, I say you want to go to court.
Yeah, but you don't answer the question. Going to court doesn't mean happiness. You can go to court and the judge say you lose. What will make you happy at the end of the whole thing? What will make you happy at the end of it? Let's say the court say you're right, they're wrong. What judgment will make you happy? I'm saying, what will make you happy at the end of the day? Not the whole process of going to court.
That them apply the law fairly because they...
Yes,
fairly. Mm-hmm. Because all along nothing fair going down to me.
Don't say apply the law fairly. they wrongfully terminate you. But the court doesn't necessarily have to reinstate you. The court can say you were wrongfully terminated, and this is a judgment that you will get. You catch what I'm saying? But they can't say Anglic, hire him back. You catch what I'm saying? The court at the end of the day might give you the judgment, might either pay you 3 months salary, or they might decide to pay they might decide to pay you what you would have lost if you were working there for so much and so much a year and so forth and so on. That's why I'm actually so don't really the law, because the law
what I saying that yeah what I saying
what would make you happy?
no I know that all of them playing that, but what I saying
that's what I'm saying, right? Because what I'm saying is that you gotta be very careful with the court. The court sometimes is biased even before it starts. You catch what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that you got all of these people working against you, right? All of them is friends. They go and have them cocktail parties and drink them, and then have them judgment even before them hear the case.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, by law, the criminal code say every person who commit an offense in Anguilla. The criminal code states anything with jurisdiction, so whether partly within or partly beyond what I'm doing wrong would be tried and punished as the same thing. So that is judge, magistrate, liar. You notice, in this, a liar can't come take your money in some house and leave you abandoned like that. It's an offense. Okay. All of these things, this is why I say, through the court, with lawfully, because under the same laws them publishing, the Anguilla Service Public Commission and thing, with the Code of Ethics state, deal with the public in the affairs fairly. Make decisions based on fact. My decisions that were made to me in court was lies and everything. Well, when what I want, like a state which are trying to get all this going through, is to carry my case court in the longer, how them look at it, how everybody may look at it in the government section with, okay, because they're doing me all of this, punishing me. The Constitution states, suffering hardship, anything you lock up imprisonment or whatever the case may be, come from the public commission. The same public commission where people up there getting paid from what he doing he wrong. They don't want this all because of all of this thing. Okay. When you look at that, okay, all the unjust what done to me. I've been treated inhumane, I've been through torture, I was degraded, all of these things. What I want to see now, what happened with this manager when I say he on investigation.
Well, you know that.
Okay, yeah. He violated labor laws. The labor is there to govern all employment.
Labor laws. That's a fact. I don't think anybody can argue that.
So, how come he ain't getting prison time for that? He broke this. And if you look at it again, with my case, I see the way how everybody want to settle it out of court, the way them want. This why, well, the what they were doing in the tribunal was why she was doing what everybody else wanted to do. Because if you got...
Well, tribunal is to avoid going to court.
Tribunal is to avoid going to court, but to do it fairly.
Right.
Tribunal is court of justice. Is a court of justice.
Yeah.
Tribunal is...
Well, like court, I mean...
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking.
Yeah. But anything in tribunal has to be done the way courting is. But she come there, fling it out, and doing it the way she wants. All I want is to get my farms, to get this done, and the longer that this going on, like you said, to protect yours. The Lord say everything happen in His time. And the longer I sit now waiting, the suffering, hardship, pain, and me and my family going through, at the end of the day, all I go back to the government now. We're holding this up and got it pending. So the stupid games all of them playing to don't make no sense.
Makes sense to them.
Well, so it makes sense to them so when the time come around.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at it from the outside, they look at it, they're trying to like weigh it down.
But I mean, weighing me down because...
Yeah, I know what I'm saying.
Yeah. The Lord say, once you read a book, they say, yeah.
But let's get back to the question, right? Let's say your thing isn't part of it. Let's say that's part of it. And Anguilla comes to you and say, hey, what?
Well, right now, to tell you the honest truth, I don't want to see Anguilla not on board because I fired. the same board that was there when I get fired from Ratnery.
That's a different board now.
Yeah, from with Ratnery. I'm telling you this from when that happened. Was against me. This board, what they know,
is not against you.
Is the same. Okay, wait. No. Is the same board with Jimmy on it, who's there to bring me a farm to sign just to kill me and my family out here.
Alright, Miami, wait.
Go on YouTube and put in Franklin Petty my name, and you're gonna see the 2 videos to explain everything. So you can sit down and watch it. Yeah. Them give me a farm saying about my pension. And if I had to sign that farm, me and my family out here dead for a stupid decision that the manager made. He will sit down in front of Wildcat when we had a meeting. After them find him wrong, Wildcat turned to the supervisor who said that I threatened him. Them tell him, look, in your letter you write the manager, you notice you write which he didn't mention. So which means that I didn't say nothing. 2 days in a meeting, you're here asking what the threat is, so I'm asking what's the threat.
But didn't he say that you didn't make no threat?
He watched me and said I had never said nothing.
Yeah, that's why I understand. That's what, yeah.
Okay. Waka turned to me and asked me which I rather. There's 2 things. Either reinstated a payout to have a board member there present who I tell come to you. Hear the lawyers or the manager and them. Harold,
okay.
He was on the board at the time. I mean, Harold come here has a story that 2 sides with. I could, well, when you say trees,
One person said, the other person said the truth.
Yeah. Okay. I could tell you a story, don't even mean nothing to what actually happened. When you hear from another side, you know, you could add 1 and 1 make 2. Okay. The board who come in here when he hear that I was fired, and he know the years that they are working, he come in.
What years did they work for?
I was there from in 93. He come to hear my side of it, everybody here in Tammy's side. So he say, after I tell him, I give him the evidence, I tell him, listen, I want you to come to hear the manager has either lie and say all kind of things. So he would sit in the meeting. All of them there so lying. Wildcat, before then Wildcat put up his hand and say, he stop him. So he played the thing. So he asked me, tell me that there's 2 things I have to choose from, either reinstatement or payout. I say reinstated. Because I got a family, I got mortgage, I got bills, everything like everybody else.
Okay. But we paying for the time we lost.
Okay. Turn to the manager asking what his decision is because he there to make the decisions for the company. He say he's all about looking good and by me come back and making the rest of management look bad. No, a manager with common sense wouldn't say nothing like that. But because in order for you to look good, the company got to be doing good.
Even if you think it, you should not say.
Yeah. So that's why the board member got to say he's a young gun, so he's doing a cost the company and the shareholders a load of money. And he went on telling them what happened. So you can see that from listening to this, you can hear that there's a plot between the 5 of them, which there was a plot. Ivo tell me it was about my appraisal, wow. The supervisor was willfully spiking me, marking me low.
Who's the supervisor?
Lincoln Hatch.
Oh, that's Hatchat brother, right?
The same Hatchat who in the company, what the company wasting paying now, because gross negligence, he killed Clinton Bryan. He was never fired, Tommy promoting him a bigger promotion, getting bigger money. Now if you add up 365 days to the amount of time he there now after, how much money being lost? Everywhere else we get do gross negligence against the company rules, all like the captain of the ship that went down there. He was fired, he got in jail. But out here, so that means sending nobody jail.
That's so true.
So all I want is to get these documents, file my case in court, and we go from there. Because the senior magistrate I bring from wherever, I don't know where she come from. Then say Dominica,
who's that?
You know,
Albania. Yeah, she from Dominica.
Okay. She come in there, so our laws didn't say, when you come from wherever you come from, you could come here broke, commit an offense and get away scot-free. Now look at it. From 2012, January, she was appointed chairperson. This is 2013. And you can imagine from all then till now, she sent me summons to appear underneath a Keatley in India 6 times when I wasn't even supposed to be there twice. Now once, under the Education Act, what I'm using about the child. So all I want is to carry my case court and forget about what Anlek and them both saying. I ain't playing no games with them no more.
So here is what question I have on this matter is,
it comes to the farms, other court matters, apart from appeals court, where do we go to get these farms?
I would think that it would be at a court. I would really think
that's the best of your knowledge.
Yeah, because I mean that's not my field of expertise, but I would think that
You've never heard in your life that you have to go to a lawyer? Yes.
I've never heard that.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. I went there asked for the charge I was looking for from the first time, Diana Hatch.
But you know all that information you're supposed to get it, right?
Huh?
All that information you're supposed to get it.
I'm supposed to get it?
You're supposed to get it.
I know.
That's public information.
Yeah, she tell me that.
I should be able to get it.
Yeah.
You know, if I wanted it. If you go to do a police report, it'll be on a police report. That's what they have done to you, right? It's in a bad place, right?
I know. That's why I tell me I want to go there.
You can't travel the way you want to travel anymore. That will show up on your police report. If you want to go to the U.S., you won't be able to go to the U.S. so easily. Very difficult. Even if you have a British passport, will not allow you in. I'm telling you because I know other people who have British passports do less. You get time, right? You were in jail for a week, right?
I was in jail from the 9th of November to the 12th, and from the 12th again I put in a month, and I was in from the 8th of April for a month for nothing. Keatlin, all his friends trying to get his thing fixed. Yeah. Yeah. And while I went there with poison, then bring it in juice the second time, and I went and find I ain't work. Because I was monitored when them give me the juice to see if any reaction was take place. So I was put in my food the third time. I walked from here past your secretary desk, eating a little bit of it because I said it tastes funny. And I tried away, I noticed a clear thick liquid running from it. I went from here past your secretary, sit down on a bucket, and my body started to feel funny. I looked down. I was clearer than this guy here. I was clear like he. My skin turned purple. I started sweating constantly. I'd never sweat like that like before. And shitting diarrhea, pissing straight, pissing brown. I went by the police station to report a matter, not even there. So you see what this thing where I'm standing up with Tammy?
All the things you've been talking about for years, he's a lawyer. But this is a serious thing though. This is it's like a big old conspiracy.
Listen, home I hate and to tell you the honest truth. Home I don't have no current, no water because the same David Gomes who up there by Ann like when I went by him when Lincoln didn't want to pay me. He laughed because he said, well, how come the man want to pay me and I work with a team? Which is the same thing Walcott telling him, you know what Lincoln said? I was a truck driver. That's why he didn't pay me. My rules state I supposed to be able to drive the truck to carry the material and the work. I second in command. We only got two drivers at the time. I driving the truck, my foreman driving the truck, which is part of my duty. And he tell them, he point out that I was working, that's part of my duty. But the problem what I'm like facing out there is them two brothers. Because at the end of the day, to done 2011 and 2013, my bills and everything, imagine, I just got a thing from the liars about my loan for the bill I had for my house. My loan was always up to date. The government or whoever stand up with me, now a raise gone on top of my bill. That's a government bill at the end of the day. So at the end, with this whole thing beating around the bush, don't make no kind of sense. I can take my blows, and like the good Bible say, have patience, time will tell. One day my case will get in court, and everybody who done underneath doing this would have to face the law too.
So you be taking them to court?
Well, my matter's going straight to the court.
No, I mean who you taking to court?
Well, Anlet. Yeah. Farmer make the decision for Anlet. He didn't make it for himself. I wasn't hired on that army. I was hired by Anlet. So this is what the government need to look into.
Well, the government
and the problems that these two brothers causing them need to solve something because they always have this problem. So the time them stretching, I got no current, sometimes I don't have no food to eat to give my family. So the time them stretching. ain't making no matter no better for nobody. Because at the end of the day, my hardship and suffering and all of these things I'm going through, that will be compensated. So the link of time, them looking after, okay, let's run into the ground. At the end of the day, the money, because time is money. The same way them put in them letter about are you responsible for them last cars, damages, expenses and everything, is so them responsible for mine. And thing you want is a family. Thanks for, sitting on at least hearing, but I understand you can't do nothing about the situation, so I'd have to go for you again.
Yeah. The truth of the matter is that from the political directorate, there ain't nothing you can do about legal situation. I mean, the judiciary, that's where it has separation of powers. The judiciary and the political are separate.
One day somebody gonna look at it and say, okay, this guy is going through so much, I had enough and step in and give me my chance in court. Because the last day you could do it yourself and them don't even want me getting there. But the same senior magistrate told me dying true. But no, thanks
But I wish you the best. I mean, I know the situation well. I know he writes one story well, and you realize that you write a story. I mean, anybody in the book then to realize that they have people. Oh, you remember?
Expose them. Expose them. Truth will reveal. Let the truth be revealed, yeah, now. Truth will reveal. Nowhere to hide.
Okay, I show you the reason why Jules Wilson was starring, because if you notice and you listen back in the conversation with the ex-magistrate, who's the human rights officer, Lolita Davis, points out the reason why when her case, the reason why the judges, Stanley Reed and the Attorney General had thrown out her case, so she now obligated to them. So them now in problem with the same thing, the Attorney General and them friends along with the magistrates. So she now obligated in fixing them one and don't mean my family all of this. I will go into further details and point out some very important things. So what happening to me here ain't just about me and my family. It is about everybody out here who's not a part of the government team. So I want you to pay close attention of what I'm about to show you. This newspaper here dated Friday 10th January 2014. This here, so this column here with the police commissioner. I want you to pay very close attention here. This column here, in this he said that there was international help was offered to come help solve the crimes, and it was turned down. Say that in terms of them coming solving the crimes and leaving after that the police here. So what happened here now? In this part here, the Police Act, what I was showing all the time with the abuse what the police here doing to me and my family. Now them amend the act. The same Police Act what there to protect the people out here, and not just the people on the island who also coming in. This here is the Anguilla Police Act. In this, what I was showing in this, the oath what I make here, when them first joined the force, where they say them without favor or affection, malice or ill will. And when they do all of that here, which I point out again in the same book, under section 6 of the same book. Where they say here anything with joining in an association or anything, then dismissed from the force. Okay. The same police act were there to protect the public and others. You notice further back I showing you the video where my child was taken from me by force by the police. And all through the video where I point out the human rights officer say what I'm doing, separating me, the child, and like when everything's supposed to come together as one, which is common sense because one thing caused the whole problem. This newspaper here, dated Friday, 8 November 2013. And now if you look at that video where the police come take my child, that ain't the proper way a parent to gain custody of a child. I had a child from a baby, but because of what the school was doing, protecting the manager from the decision what he made, I will show you how all of them join in on it because of what he do. They come now, take up my child. What happened? You hear on the radio that the governor went speak about the boats were burning the cove, how to affect their family, livelihood, psychologically and emotionally. You hear them went on the radio, the same thing General Robertson then went on the radio about the shooting with the same thing. Now if you look at it, what the police and all of them doing, the public out here, is much more dangerous than the guns what them carrying on in the all the time. I wish the same newspaper here which I hold up just now. In it here, this program here with the gender-based violence training. These police officers were in here, sit down in the same courthouse and see what Keith Benjamin was doing to me, them ex-police commissioner. If you notice inside of this, the training was on with the police response to sexual and gender-based violence. In the same training, a handbook was given to all of the members of police inside of the force. But all the wrong I'm doing and trying to cover it up. This here so is the governor who was there so before Christina Scott, Alistair Harrison. In here, he's saying that I should like to thank everyone on Anguilla because now he was telling you like he thanking the people for while he was here with the government and thing, the governance policy, like how he would put it across as if he was doing a good job. This is the same governor who put in Keith Benjamin, where they say you need to be competent, qualified for the position, where you hear back in the video where the human rights officer says she put against it, everybody else put against it. The government official said that everybody do the same thing, but I'm still putting here. Which she said that the man can't see his point, which is true. You notice in the other videos I point out and said that who seen this and who know Keith Benjamin, he ain't expect nothing better of him because he know no better. Without putting it across in a good sense for him. But everybody say, by seeing this, you can watch Keith Benjamin and see he's a dunce. Because of the things of what he doing. And I'm going to point out and show you everybody why nobody had wanted him there. The same Thomas Hodge, who was Anguilla manager. This newspaper dated Friday 28th December 2013. In the same newspaper, here, you'll notice who was Anguilla manager Thomas Hodge is a board member for the same departments where these letters went out, who was coming harassing me all the time, who were trying to get it fixed for him. So when you look at it, the whole idea was because of the decision he made and put the whole company in problem, which now got the government in problem, them all was trying to sit down and fix it. The same deputy governor, you hear in the conversation where the government member pointed out that he used to work in the department, with AG Chamber Department. What happened? By taking up the child, he made things no better. To make it worse for the child and everybody else around him. Because the child was here from a little baby. When he come here, I had months before I could get a belonging status for him. I had a year to get his citizenship. But within one day, them come take him the 20th on a Friday, December. And within one day, you will hear from the same video, the police say don't worry, the authorities gonna leave him go through. Because he didn't have no passport, his passport was up. On a weekend, the Saturday, he was out of here. This newspaper, dated Friday, 3rd January 2014. In the same newspaper, if you look here, laws give police more power to deal with gun violence. And if you look here inside of this video, who they sitting on in here? Jerome Roberts, Evan Guns, Hubert Hughes. The whole bunch of them know what's going on here in the last state to deal with the public within a short time. But what I'm doing is trying to pressure me by doing things so I could give in to what them want. So it ain't nothing about laws when them society friends broke it and supposed to solve prison time. Everywhere else you find, like I point out, judges, government ministers, all of these people who commit offense that's been locked up, but not in Anguilla. When you look at this whole situation what's going on here, you'll find the human rights officer said that I wasn't even supposed to be in prison, not even in court, because I had a lawful excuse. So because all of them wrong, and the same Arjul now devoted now to carry out her mission because she now obligated to them, is why them killing me and my family here. But the big picture ain't just me and my family, it is all of us out here who in society and who out here in the public now. Because you see the same laws that were there to protect us with the same police who in there so with brutality against the people. Them now make it legal by removing the same police act. The same Jerome Roberts, who over the Ministry of Home Affairs. This here, this is the document was given to Ivinia Benjamin when she was appointed for the tribunal. But pay attention up here, where the Ministry of Home Affairs responsible for gender affairs. The same Jerome Roberts you hear inside a video here about the senior magistrate. Them had a meeting with her and she saying she want to do it again, which he enforced no laws for them friends in there. Because the same junior magistrate and the senior magistrate who shouldn't be up there so still up there so today, locking up people who commit offenses when them here committing the biggest one. Okay, inside of the same conversation with Lolita Davis, you'll find where she said that when I tell her that I gave her the facts, that I wasn't even supposed to be in court according to the Education Act, because I had a lawful excuse. She said, no, he charged me under Evidence Act, where she tell him nothing in the provisions under that act say to send the person prison. And she right. Because underneath the Education Act now, when he sent me out there so in prison, the reason why the Hayden had told me that if I know what he do to me is a very bad thing. Because now he give me a criminal record, I can't even travel. I gotta show you where he right, because I tell him I know that, because when I went to St. Martin, even out there I had trouble. This here is the Evidence Act. In this act here, telling you evidence of a child. Now you notice I tell you my child was underage when the principal and the teacher went down there so and tell them lies. The child was 8 years old. In this here saying that the child ain't supposed to take no oath. Reason for that because he underage. In the same criminal code, he can't even do it because the child is under the age of 14. But I want you to pay attention to hear the reason why she's saying, because when she went inside of there, the 5th time when I was there, so they had the whole courthouse was full of people. And he was in there so playing his own judge. That's why she say, well, he's judging his own case. Because inside of this now, we tell you the following facts should be done here. So now what he do, he was supposed to be going, what he doing now is going with all the public acts, which I'm going to show you some of them. Now my name gone down in the London Gazette, the Gazette of Anguilla, the Government Gazette. You see here? Other overseas territories in Her Majesty's domains. So that's why he was saying I can't travel nowhere, which I had know that what he was doing. And he demand give me a criminal record for nothing when I wasn't even supposed to be in court. The reason why when I go by the court, all of them want me to pay, or you need to pay $100 for a certificate of conviction. Now why would I give consent to pay that by paying that when I wasn't even supposed to be underneath of the idiot? This here is a Public Authority Protection Act. In this, if you notice here, this is what I'm doing. So by me paying to it, now amending whatever he do, now I become guilty of he fraud and he malpracticed what India doing. This is why the people tell him that them didn't want him there. When I was in there, so this here is a prison act. When I was in prison, when he sent me over, but he got remand me the night, send me over prison because he didn't want me to talk to nobody, because he wanted to know who my advisor is. Because I in there so telling the man, lot of man getting vexed. Now any sensible person in court would glad to hear that somebody outside coming in there and pointing out law and talking law terms to him. Inside of this, see here, removal of prisoner for judicial and other purposes. And you come down here. When them take me out of prison, he had to give the prison a warrant in his handwriting. So however you look at it, whatever the man do, because he trying to cover up, there's a whole load of trail he leaving behind and could be tracked for all the stupidness he in there doing. Why? Because he's standing up to please his niece. His niece and he who shouldn't be even in the government system, them just there because of who them related to in political friendship. I want to bring your attention to this here now. This is a newspaper dated Friday, February, November 2013. In this newspaper, the same department were giving all this problem for the government, who should have education. The problem were coming from all of this here, so what come from my job, what I'm trying to separate to say that is another case which lead nothing with what Anguilla doing. This is why you hear the radio who say that our people here, when they come to education, them otherwise. Look here. In this green paper here, so them saying that it must be mentioned that Chanel Petit-Barret had something to do with making the event a reality, which is true. But to go down in history, written in the history books of Anguilla, they need to put she and her uncle down in the history of Anguilla books for ignorance of the law. Because there's common sense for everything happening here. Like this, the human rights officer say, what I'm trying to do, separate everything to come from one thing. The same magistrate what nobody had wanted up there, so who them put up there, so ex-police commissioner up there, so playing magistrate and playing judge in his own cases. He wasn't even supposed to even hold it once, but in there 6 times underneath the ring. And now from all of this you could see these kind of things seem like only happening in Anguilla. When you check it out, the same thing need to go down in history too. What happened, the reason why we broke away from St. Kitts, Anguilla broke away from St. Kitts, is so we could have our own government, provide for our own people, and handle our own affairs. The same Anguilla now, running back to St. Kitts, when I point out and tell you that the child mother tell me that the welfare department here, contacting the welfare department in St. Kitts, the welfare department of their call she and they tell she that they got a big problem down here, the government, and that need her to come get the child out of the way now to try to solve the problem. But what I'm doing is just creating more and more things from. So the police inside the newspaper don't want no other help with police come in. Now to show up the corruption in the country. gone run St. Kitts for the child mother to come take up the child. When the child had no problem, the problem all here were causing is from the same government who's standing up to the laws with the manager and his two cousins, the two brothers who in there giving all of this, along with the management team were caused that. And that should go down the history books. Because to show now that Anguilla ain't got no government. In the same law book about the Police Act, which them are men, but we're there to protect the same public. Now look at it. The same tourists who are coming here need to investigate Anguilla government before making here them destination. Because the same people who here now, when come to the same police brutality now become legal. Yeah. Okay, this now is another book here, so inside of this, here, see here what he was doing when I went in there now the 6th time. Want me to, now like he was pleading with me to give in to sign with what he want. So he had want my consent for the stupidness he are doing. Everybody who hearing this story telling you that all the money the government paying Keegley Benjamin and his niece Chanel Petty, if common sense was selling in the store, then wouldn't have no way to go find it. This here, now, is a promissory oaths act. Inside of this, I'm going to show you a lot of things. Where you notice a court person say when I went there in court that when you first join the job and you swear an oath, and if them do anything wrong in there, so whoever a part of the team, the government then, which is them gang team, them can't say nothing. This whatever happening to me and my family here, even who in the government system who know the wrong can't say nothing because of them job them got and the oath they make. This here, down here, so when you look at this here, so even when you join them just asking you once. So if you don't accept them oath, you back out of the job. I'll show you some other things inside of here. Where I will point out that Keegley and his whole team, all of them is dead wrong, even the senior magistrate who come in the tribunal had want to do what she wanted to please her friends. When she wanted to fling out the case for Anlek, so the attorneys were in there, which I point out in an earlier video where I show in the Labor Department Act Section 25, where the state where them would be doing in their wrong, where they should be held liable for. Now the same Jerome Roberts who in this government system now who part of them friendship team is what killing me and my family because he don't want to apply the law to them friends. Look here, you got oath of allegiance, official oath, judicial oath. Let's pay close attention to this one because this one here is what a senior and junior magistrate and all of them up here doing. This oath here, I, whatever your name, swear in. See here. They carry the lives without fear, favor, affection, or ill will. And everything the man up there doing is dead wrong. And if the governor seen all of this and don't remove it, you could see what's going on there. Because the laws here sort of look like me for society. Okay. This is a criminal code book. In this book, here, where them oath here, so where I'm swearing, see to say, oath includes an affirmation or declaration to affirm or declare. And instead of swear, so see here, okay, this here now, in this code, offense for which the sentence is fixed by law. And if you check this here, offense here, so what he doing is something that you commit, an offense that you do. And I do nothing to be in court, but in there so, and I meet a Keatley, I got a criminal record for nothing to please all his friends. Inside of the same newspaper where I show where they amend the same police act where they say now the government and the attorney general, where he was there thanking for amending the same act. The reason for that because the same attorney general, all of them now caught up inside this because the attorney general gave Chanel consent to send me court when he didn't have to do it. See here, where I point out now where the same inside of the other one where the attorney general had to give the magistrate consent to take me out of prison. The same attorney general involved in all of this here. See here, section 4, offenses committed partly within and partly beyond the jurisdiction. And to get a list of them here. All over in here. So you can understand why they want to kill me and my family. When I point out here that the pressure they want to put on top of me now because the manager who them had over and left while they were saying was managing, put the company, and because the government now didn't want to solve the situation, which I point out in the labor laws there, so the Fair Labor Standard Act. When you terminated this go through the SO, which is saying that was mandated, I was supposed to be paid within the week. But them keep stretching it off, saying that what them doing is stretching it off to wear me down. And the more them stretching it off, the more them look stupid. The whole bunch, because they're showing none of them they are governing nothing. So where the leadership for Anguilla? This here is the Public Utility Commission Act. Inside of this book, here, so under resolution of disputes, you got 30, 31, 32. We can look at 31 here. Up here, so on 30, you see the same between public utilities and between all of these here. So when you look down here, so and 31(4). Every party to a matter shall be entitled to appear at the hearing and may be represented by an attorney or any other person. And to keep going on. And the reason when I showed that a letter where Julie Winslow write me about she responsible for the ministry. Now when she write that, Wildcat was over the ministry. So she tell me she the boss now, because if you look at it, because Stanley Reed and stand up for she and get in the attorney general and get a judge to fling up her case. Now she have it leave it to them. She now playing back the favor to fix the problem for them now. You see to say here, power of commission. Issue summons to compel the attendance of witness, which I'll show you that the senior magistrate was doing. Examine witness and oath, affirmation or otherwise, and know your look. The same criminal code book where it's read I'm supposed to swear an oath, affirmation or declaration. When I was asking her to show an oath, and she tell me about she hears a magistrate. She hears a normal person, showing that she was there doing it for favor. The same documents where I was asking for what I'm doing to give her, she hear the court and the human rights officer say, because I was part of it, I should have get them. Here. Compel the production of documents. In here, a summons issued by the commission shall be under the hand of the chairman. All of them documents I show, which them all putting them signature to and all kind of thing. Showing all the evidence for the wrong them doing. In the government standing up for the wrong when two wrongs can't make a right. Because I don't want to punish them society friends. The same ones who causing all of these problems here, but them could go on top of the same radio. Okay, let me give you an instant. You hear me saying I point out all the time I can't go on the radio nor in the newspaper. They had there, so my child, I'm taking him up Friday, December the 28th. Saturday, they had a talk show on top of the radio station, one of the radio stations. So I went down there because nobody wanted to hear really what's going on, wanted the outside world to really see what's happening in Anguilla. So I went down there, so I asked what out there to go on the station. I get a number, I went outside, I called that in. I listened to everybody calling, could have viewed them concerns and then leave on top. When I was trying to view mine, I could not hear too well because he was asking me why the child wasn't going to school. But what happened, all of them know that I had a lawful excuse and ran the corner, went in court along with the rest of my friends and lawyer and me. So the radio and guy who on Curtis tell me I must come and see him. No, that was just to get me off of the radio station, off of the line from us viewing my concern. Okay, when I asked him, he told me I must come back there so he could sit down and talk about what's going on and thing. I hang up the phone. I turn off from there. I come up Eastern, went back down by the station. I sit down and wait till everything done. When he come out and I talk to him now, he know me, because I was there so him before. He doing like he don't know what he's talking about. Tell me that I need to go by Neil, because he under opposition. and I must go make an appointment with a radio, the owner of the radio station. Now you can see it was a whole trick to get me off of the radio from I pointing out all what the magistrate, the senior, the junior, the permanent secretaries, the Attorney General, the senior Attorney General James Woods, who Hubert Hughes had put against in the newspaper, say that they must put another one there. The same Governor Alistair Harrison, who put him back there because he wanted to stay here another year. You could see Rude Boy everywhere else had fling him out from where he was. But it looked like Anguilla does take up what nobody don't want. And that's the problem around here. Here, when you look at this whole matter what happening here, like the innocent people paying for the money, the fees, the people who haven't gotten their fees for the ignorance they are doing. Okay, this is the Anguilla Public Service Code of Ethics. In this book, I showed this book before, but I'll point out other things in it. See here? What they say for under honesty and integrity. B. Deal with the public and their affairs fairly, efficiently, promptly, effectively, and sensitively to the best of their ability. And to go over, and I need the same thing here. Set out the facts and relevant issues truthfully when discussing or reporting on any matter. And now, from all the evidence I point out inside of these things, you will find nothing them doing to me is true. You hear in the conversation further back when the girl say in the court, oh, them got my criminal record in there. What Keithley Benjamin give me? A police commissioner. Anywhere else you hear posing as these people, Anguilla down here paying big money for it, causing all of this problem. Where he should be flung out on the road after being locked up for the crimes them here committing. Okay, this here is the code for prosecutors. This book here, if you're fun, watch this here carefully. See what I say here? And that those principles will be applied regardless of their associations, family connections, wealth, or any other personal factors. You come down here again. This little bit here, it is only by doing so that we can ensure that the interests of justice are properly met. Reason for that I'll show you here again. Criminal Code Book. Criminal Code Book, section 3 and 4. This is why Anguilla so backward, because they don't want to apply the same law to them society friends. Because the same case, which I will point out and show you, section 3, if you read that, to say all who commit an offense for the time of being in Anguilla, go to the Dominica lady, or Ivinia Benjamin, the senior magistrate, what India doing her wrong with Keithley, Chanel, Andrew, all of them who involved here. 4. See what I was saying in another one? In the same thing here, so it is to point out down here. 4. In the court jurisdiction of the court would be an offense against this code whether to done partly within and partly beyond. Okay. In this, what happened, I went to somebody, a friend of mine called me a day and told me I must go and act a reality, and I see some posts in there so with my name to it and certain things in there so it concerning with me. When I gone and I see one of the things there so saying that how a permanent secretary had kick up a lady in her face. Now, from all of this, from my understanding, which I point out to the public there towards Jewel Wilson, who also in there saw something that was acting as deputy governor. Inside of all of this, I give the evidence to point out, not because the judge fling it out, you hear that you could bring it back. And by law you could. That's why I'm telling my liar all the time. This is why I don't want to get all my liars out of the way, even the ones I had here. They don't want to work for me, and who was working for me, just take my money, which I would explain that for them, and them send them away. This book here, so, this is a Public Authority Protection Act. In this book here, and the effects on certain acts, see here. All of this here. Are given here so that they could pull back the same case with the same Jewel Wilson. So if you look through this video, you will find all the evidence and facts you would need for your case. As Livia listen further in where the senior magistrate say, my liar from Antigua was here several times, she met with him several times. Then the girls in there, shh, 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 hush, hush. You ain't telling her, don't say nothing. So, you'll see the reason why they don't want me to deal with my case myself, not even to have a liar to represent me. This newspaper now, dated Friday, 29th November 2013. In this newspaper, I'll show you something. The same people in there voting for us, the same people turn around killing us. Look here. Jerome Roberts, Minister of Home Affairs, speaks on violence against women. Now remember, he showed the same paper with them over the same agenda of his, with a male, female. Look here, the same Jerome, come down here in this corner. The same Jerome saying violence takes different forms. It can be physical, and he gone on. The same Jerome Roberts involved with this whole thing. So you see what kind of people we got here, so? We vote for them to go in there so to lead, but when them go in there so them doing what they want to please them friends. You can see Anguilla ain't got no government at all. And the fact that my child in St. Kitts proven it, living evidence of fact. So what a reason for broken away from St. Kitts for? If you look after all of this what happening here, this is the evidence. Pointing out, giving you all the evidence. You hear the guy radio talk show, radio host that we're saying the same thing. The people here need to be fired and locked up. The place in a mess. Where is the leaders?
Almighty Almighty God come show them some wonders and signs. Them boy and nah no pity, no mercy for mankind. They will step on all the people and shoot them all the blind. Abusing little kids and put them life on the line. Still I see all the verses, my Savior divine. Judgment, nothing can save them. Line up the wicked, come me ready for erase them. Judgment.
What is this? Well, boy, all them other countries, they have ships like Peace Great Papi. Nations like France and Belgium, they could lend my Trinidad song. With all their flagship and battleship, they have stewardship and good fellowship, and a whole set of craftsmanship, and don't talk about statesmanship, but not we. I walk the whole of the waterfront in Tonkin Bay. I can't find no ship to lead me out of Port of Spain. I check the dockyard like Marian all day all night. I even tried small island walk, the ship not inside. I see the banana ship, I see the Zaboka ship, I see the onion ship, I see the Baigan ship, I find the China ship right next to the Alu ship, on tour from the partnership. But I can't find the leadership, like I may have to cancel my trip. But I can't find the leadership, it's first time I see so much a hardship. But I can't find the leadership, I see some sailors on a drunken ship. But I can't find the leadership, I see gypsy on a sinking ship. But I can't find the leadership, I see Jack Runner on a pirate ship. But I can't find the leadership, I see Vicky Bootram on a cruise ship. But I can't find the leadership, I see Kishan Walcott on the championship. But I can't find the leadership, Guyanese board in the citizenship. But I can't find the leadership, I see the kick Volney clean up the partnership. But I can't find the leadership, nor we can't even board the Iowa Dodge ship. But I can't find the leadership, I see Ashwo Jack on a pumpkin ship. But I can't find the leadership, I see Rowley on a victory ship. But I can't find the leadership, tonight I go in on the Monarch ship. But I can't find the leadership.
Saying, and you're not that this year is anti-apartheid year, which means that black people must be more aware and conscious of them constitutional rights, when most black people who is called the underprivileged don't know what name so. You might forgot to ask someone who is privileged. You know what I'm saying?